The WBC continues as the U.S. takes on Mexico at 5 p.m. Mexico has a 3-1 record against the U.S. in the WBC. Their Mariners and the Diamondbacks play today. First pitch is at 1:10. Brian Wu is on the mound, and K9 is gone. He will sign a deal with the Chiefs, 3 years, $45 million.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Happy Monday to all of you guys, all of our listeners. Hope you guys had a great weekend. You got another edition of the Dad Podcast today. We got Curtis Rogers filling in for Stacy Ross, and we're wasting no time. We knew this was going to happen. I didn't feel like K9 was going to be back here. He's going to ask for too much money, as he should, get all that money, because running backs do not last long in this league. He is going to the Chiefs, 3 years, $45 million, the highest paid free agent running back in NFL history. Good for you, ever. K9. I felt like this was happening. I think I threw the Chiefs out there a couple of weeks ago, but it's official. He's gone.
He is gone. I guess congrats to you for nailing that one a couple of weeks ago, Bump. But, yeah, I mean, look, this is something that we all kind of thought was going to happen, but the news is here that Ken Walker is no longer going to be a Seattle Seahawk. And that's tough because he's been here for 4 seasons, and you never really had to worry about the running back spot while he was here. I mean, yeah, he did have a couple of injury-plagued seasons, but you knew that if he was going to be healthy, he was going to be in the starting lineup, and then also saved his best season for last, the 2025 season, appeared in all 17 games, and then played his very best football when the Seahawks needed him the most, and that was after Zach Charbonnet's injury. Tough to see him go, but congrats to him on cashing in like this because, like you mentioned, Bump, as a running back, he's only going to get so many opportunities to land a contract like this, and he landed one that is a record-setting one for free agent running backs. 3 years, $45 million, just over $28 million of that guaranteed. Congrats to him, but now, Bump, the Band-Aid has been ripped off. The biggest question mark of the Seahawks offseason has been answered. So now, where do the Seahawks go from here at running back? Because Zach Charbonnet is not probably going to be ready once the season starts. So what happens next at running back?
They got to draft one for sure. If this were 2025, I would feel a lot better about the draft class. But there are some sleepers in this draft. And also, you got to get a free agent. You still got Algier out there. You still have Etienne. There's a few other running backs as well. Now I'm interested. I'm just glad that we're finally getting things moving. Yeah. We're sitting there in the sports pit just waiting for something to go down. We hear the news, and now it's time for John to pivot. And I know that he will. How long is it going to take? Hopefully it happens sometime within the next 4 hours so we can break it to you here and get this thing going. But they're not in a bad spot, right? You look at what the Seahawks have. You got some young guys. You have some cap space. Greg Rosenthal talks about this the state of the Seahawks here.
I don't think it's a tough spot. I really don't, because you have such a good base of talent right now overall, and you have a ton of cap space and a ton of flexibility, and you're entering year 3 of your coaching cycle with Mike McDonald. You know what he wants. I honestly think, like, this is the year you normally push, and you're trying to peak in terms of year 3 with the new head coach, so I expect them to be very aggressive. They're going to be confident in terms of what they want, and they have a ton of flexibility in terms of the money, so I think they're going to be aggressive without mortgaging the future, and with all that cap space, I think they're in a really good position.
$58 million in cap space right now. Some things you still need to take care of. Rashid, what are you going to do there? Coby, what are you going to do there? But you have a good foundation. You have guys locked up for a couple years. Do you agree with Greg and how he feels about where the Seahawks stand? Yes,
because you look at their pending free agents, Ken Walker, Josh Jobe, Coby Bryant, Boye Mafe. I know this may seem like a harsh take, Bump, but outside of like Ken Walker, if you take any of those guys off the 2025 roster, does it impact the Seahawks winning a Super Bowl? Does it impact them not winning a Super Bowl? Would you say that without Coby Bryant, the Seahawks would not have won Super Bowl 60? I think they still might have.
They might.
Without Boye Mafe, would the Seahawks have still won Super Bowl 60?
I feel better with that.
I think they still might have won Super Bowl 60 without him. Same with Josh Jobe. Same with, Ken Walker is really the only guy on this roster that you're like, without him, would the Seahawks have still won Super Bowl 60? And you're kind of like, probably not. I think everybody else you can say, yeah, there is a world that exists where the Seahawks win Super Bowl 60 without some of these guys on their roster. So that's what I look at in terms of these pending free agents. Yes, it stinks that most of them are likely going to end up in different uniforms, but you still have a tremendous core. You've got a core of a defense that is the very best in the NFL. Yes, there are some veterans that are getting up there in age. DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams on your defensive line. Maybe you got to figure out that spot as well. But offensively, nearly everybody is going to be back except for Ken Walker. So you've got plenty of cap space to work with too. So I think the Seahawks are in a very enviable spot, as Greg Rosenthal puts it. Like, think about 31 other teams in the NFL, Bump. How many of them would trade spots with the Seahawks right now? All 31, because they're coming off a Super Bowl, and they have all this cap space, and they're about to extend to their young stars.
The one I would say is Coby. I think Coby doesn't get the love that he deserves. Could they still win? Yeah, probably, because Ty Okada played some good football in his absence. But, man, Coby Bryant was one of those good ones. And Joe, man, Joe went from a guy that you grabbed from the Eagles, went to Alabama, kind of an underdog type of guy, and now he's on his roster. He's making noise. These two are important to what the Hawks want to do.
One thing I heard at the Combine was Josh Jobe is a really important free agent for them, which sounds crazy, but I think they really loved him. Look, they said it. They started him over Reek Willen, so he's not going to get the money that Reek Willen gets in free agency. But to your point, I kind of think Coby Bryant and Josh Jobe will both be back, and that provides some continuity, some stability in Mike Macdonald's secondary, which really lets him do what he wants.
Yeah, I think Jobe has become a staple. I've spoken to players across the league. They like his technique. I think Coby Bryant being moved to safety probably changed his career, maybe saved his career. Yeah. He's able to roam and get downhill and read and react. It's important that you get these two back.
I think so, and especially because of what Mike Macdonald wants to do defensively. I think there is something to be said for cohesiveness. There's something to be said about bringing in guys with experience. And look, we know what they can do in this defense. We know what Jobe and Coby are capable of doing. Like, can you replicate that with bringing somebody else? Like, not to say that this is an apples-to-apples comparison here with the Legion of Boom and what the Seahawks have in their secondary right now, but when you saw the Legion of Boom kind of break apart and splinter with, like, Brandon Browner going to the Patriots and then Byron Maxwell going, I think it was to the Dolphins or the Eagles, one of those two teams. I think it was the Eagles. Like, you lost a couple of important parts, and then that spot outside of the three that were locked down with Sherm, Cam, and Earl, it just kind of became a revolving door, and the quality of play from that fourth spot in the secondary just never really got back to what it was when you had Browner, when you had Maxwell in the starting lineup. You do kind of run the risk of losing out on depth too when you have guys leave your organization like Jobe and Coby Bryant. If that were to happen, it sounds like Josh Jobe is a high likelihood of re-signing here, but you lose depth when guys like that move on, because if you go to replace them from within the organization, all right, that's congrats to the guy who's next in line, but who's behind that guy who's next in line? You don't have that ready to go. Yeah,
that's the tough part of this game, right? Yeah. It's hard to be too deep everywhere, right? Some positions you'll have a too deep depth chart, but that second guy just isn't it. All right, so there's some other things that could happen when you look at this situation here with the Seahawks. What are you gonna do with that defensive line? You talked about Boye Mafe probably not coming back, and then there's another name that Greg thinks might not be here.
I also think they might end up cutting Uchenna Nwosu here to open up some more money. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if they are in the edge market, because there's some interesting edges out there, because I just think that's a position they're always going to be spending on. And I'm with you. I think they let Shaheed go and try to draft, try to develop, and go cheaper at that position.
I said last week I would love for Shaheed to be back, but I also understand that if he's not, you have a guy in Horton who should be ready to go return the football. Texas were texting in saying he's fragile, he's always injured. I get that. ACL in college, shins going on here. It's rolling the dice, but he's shown that he can do it. The Uchenna one is interesting to me. I understand it because you're going to free up some cap space, and the draft is full of edge rushers that are pretty good. I was just talking to Salk before he got up out of here. There's some free agents out there as well. Were you surprised to hear that Uchenna might be there?
A little bit, because of where the Seahawks stand with their cap space. They don't necessarily need that $19 million that is counting towards Nwosu next year right off the bat of free agency, unless they have a big move in mind, or if they go out and sign one of these top edge guys. But I don't know if moving on from Uchenna is the top priority right now, especially when they have top 5 cap space money available to them. I don't think they're hurting for cash. So to me, it kind of makes sense, maybe depending on how free agency kind of plays itself out here, that Nwosu stays on the roster until they absolutely need to make a decision on him. But for now, I think you can still hold tight, because what if you don't sign one of these edge guys? Like, what if you don't get Trey Hendrickson? What if you don't get somebody else like that? You're going to need somebody there. And Nwosu at least has a lot of experience in Seattle and is coming off a fantastic game that he played in the Super Bowl. Yes, there are injury concerns with him, kind of the same that you had with Ken Walker and whatnot, where Nwosu has missed significant time over his career. Some of it not his fault. I think back to when he got his leg rolled up on in the preseason. What was that, before the 24 season? Definitely not his fault there. But I don't think the Seahawks are in an absolutely immediate spot with a decision on Uchenna Nwosu.
Yeah, with Uchenna, I would wait. I'd wait and see if you are able to grab one of these guys out there, because if not, you bring him back. And he understands his defense. He's a leader on this team, too. Every time we spoke to him, he's definitely one of the guys that these dudes lean on. So, yeah, Uchenna's in a weird one. Rashid Shaheed, I think you can make a decision on him fairly quickly. Teams are going to probably overpay for him a little bit. Did have 3 returns for a touchdown. Couldn't get acclimated into this past game. But we know what he's capable of. Me personally, man, I think that's Rashid's next step, is he's got to become a true route runner instead of just, I'm going to run a post, I'm going to run a go type of guy. All right, well, you go across the league, and teams are trying to duplicate what the Hawks are doing here with this D-line.
I think teams look at what Seattle did last year, and they want to have 4 or 5 edge rushers, guys with flexibility, not just have 2 or 3. So even if Mafe, doesn't, he's not a prototype 1, man, you're excited to give him 500, 600, 700 snaps in a rotation and him to really help your overall group. And I think the Seahawks, honestly, would pay Mafe pretty good money. It's just a matter of will another team pay him more.
Yeah, I love that approach with the defensive line. That is the position that is rotated the most in football. You keep these guys fresh. And it's there's different attributes too. You got a guy with long arms who bull rushes you. A guy who's a little quicker is going to try to go around you. You keep these tackles and these guards guessing every single down. I love the approach. It makes sense. Football to me, as far as I know, football, this has always been the deal. You have 2 or 3 units on that defensive line.
Throughout the day today, news is going to be trickling in on where these guys end up going, who the Seahawks have agreements with. Shortly ago, Jonathan Jones, lead NFL insider for CBS, he tweeted that the Bears are eyeing Coby Bryant. That's sources to NFL and CBS. Now, it doesn't sound like anything is imminent with that. It says nothing about an agreement between Coby Bryant and the Bears, but it just sounds like the Bears are very much interested in Coby Bryant. That'd be an incredible move, I think, by the Bears, especially a team on the rise like they are. Yeah. And also, the Bears are a candidate for the season opening game here in Seattle. They are one of, I think, about 3 or 4 options that the NFL could go with in terms of a season opener. That would be a heck of a story coming into that season opening game if Coby Bryant were to find himself on the Chicago Bears roster. So that's obviously a situation worth monitoring throughout today. But yeah, Bump, this is craziness.
It is craziness.
Opening a free agency,
right?
News is flying in faster than we can even react to.
I love it and I hate it at the same time because I just want to know exactly what the Hawks are doing and what are they thinking. And yeah, it makes sense that the Bears will go after Coby Bryant. Bears did a good job taking the football out the air, but as far as stopping teams from putting up points, it was a struggle. And you got to invest. You invest in your quarterback and Caleb Williams by helping him out defensively. Coby Bryant, in my opinion, should be the most sought-after safety in the game right now when it comes to free agents. So, yeah, man, we'll keep the news flying and coming in as soon as we get it. It should be crazy today. Tampering is officially open. Me and Curtis joked that they've been tampering since the combine, though.
It's been going on a while.
Right. Now they can just make it
just
official.
legally they can do it.
Legal tamper now. All right, man, let's get to headline rewrites.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
The Ravens acquired Maxx Crosby from the Raiders for 2 first-round picks. What's the real headline?
Real headline, the chances of getting Max in Seattle were always minimal.
Yeah, they were. I mean, you saw what the Ravens gave up. First-round pick this year, first-round pick next year, probably something else as well. We talked about it last week, and I said I would kick the tires on this, especially because we're hearing about Uchenna Nwosu and Boye Mafe. How are you going to replace that? But from what I heard, the Ravens were the only one to offer as a first and a second round. The Cowboys and the Bears were in the mix as well. Nobody did it. He's 28 years old. He's coming off a knee injury. I understand those things can deter teams from going after him. But it looks like he found his home with the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens struggled last year defensively. They need a guy like Maxx Crosby.
First time the Ravens have traded their first-round picks since moving to Baltimore.
Really?
Over 30 years ago, the Ravens moved to Baltimore. They've never done it until now. Crosby obviously is a game-changing type defensive player. So Baltimore, as you said, Bump, recognizing that need, go out and get him. I saw somebody say, like, the greatest thing to ever happen to that franchise is them missing the kick at the end of Week 18 against the Steelers, because then it just kind of ushered in all this change in the organization, because I think their fan base was getting kind of tired of the same old with John Harbaugh, and then also just kind of running it back with the same cast of characters. You bring in Jesse Minter as head coach. Now 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby. It feels like there is going to be a lot of pressure on Baltimore to turn this thing into a Super Bowl contender quickly because of the price tag that you pay for Crosby. And then also Lamar Jackson's contract status is coming up. I think they've got to decide whether or not they want to extend him pretty soon. So a lot of pressure in Baltimore to get this thing going. And, you add an all-pro talent like Maxx Crosby, that's going to increase the pressure on that organization.
I saw a meme that said Pittsburgh Steelers, Bosa, Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett. Now you got Crosby, and then a picture of Burrow just rubbing his head like, oh, my God. I got to play against these guys.
He's got no help.
Headline rewrites.
The Dolphins are cutting Tua Tagovailoa, and the Falcons are reportedly interested in bringing him in. What's the real headline?
Real headline, I'm sorry, but I thought it was Tua who had the concussion problem. Have we not seen what Tua has been over the last couple of years? Have the Falcons not learned from the Michael Penix Kirk Cousins debacle?
This was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I heard Willis to the Falcons. We heard maybe Kyler
Willis
Murray
to the Dolphins.
No, I mean rumors. Rumors
yeah.
him to the Falcons. Kyler Murray has been rumored there. This one's interesting because I think Tua needs to sit a year. He needs to sit. I mean, he had one good year in Miami, got his money, and kind of finessed the whole system over there. This one's interesting. You got Michael Penix over there. They get rid of Kirk yet? He's still there.
They are going to get rid of Kirk.
Going to get rid of Kirk. Yeah. This one is just, I don't know, man. He needs to sit.
Yeah, I get the thinking having 2 lefty quarterbacks where your wide receivers aren't going to have to make any sort of adjustments going from a lefty to a righty, but that also kind of feels like you're out thinking the room at that point. Yeah. Like, what if we just get the only other left-handed quarterback in the NFL? I say this as a lefty, but I just... The Falcons are just kind of stuck in this pit of mediocrity, and they're always going to be that way. And, I mean, if this is the first big move of Matt Ryan's time as president of football operations in Atlanta, it's just kind of like, really? This is who you're going to go with as your backup? I don't even know if he's going to be backup. He could be starting over Penix.
Penix ain't going to be ready, I don't think. I don't think he'll be ready. Tua's going to be the guy.
Ugh, I did hear the Falcons are getting new uniforms, though. So I guess that there's hope in that regard.
Headline rewrites.
Team USA is undefeated in the World Baseball Classic after blowout wins over Brazil and Great Britain. They'll face Mexico today at 5. What's the real headline?
Real headline, the Mariners might actually have the biggest influence on this game, and that's a pretty cool spot to be in.
Tell the people how.
Cal for Team USA, Randy, Andres Munoz for Team Mexico.
Yeah.
That's some difference makers.
It's a big game right here, man. I had to triple check when I saw this. Mexico's 3-1 against us in the WBC. So they're going to walk out with their chest puffed out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? This should be a good one. I will be watching. The WBC's been so fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
It feels like the greatest AAU tournament you've ever seen in your life. And then it was weird seeing, who was it, the Dominican walk-off, a home run. I'm like, hold on, the game's not over yet. Oh, there's like a mercy rule, I guess, in the WBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't know that.
And then they've got Korea. Was it Korea and Australia?
Yeah.
They were playing, and if Korea had reached a certain run total, they would have advanced. But if not, then Australia would have advanced, and then Korea ended up advancing. So I think the Netherlands had a big walk-off. Yeah. That was Ozzie Albies of the Braves. Yeah, it's been just so much fun seeing this high-level baseball in early March. We don't usually get something like this to hold us over till opening day, which is less than 3 weeks away now. Yeah, this has been just a blast, especially coming off of the Olympics the way it has, where watching the hockey tournament and just seeing everybody compete on the global level, it's really cool. And I'm glad that baseball has this in 2026, and hopefully we see more of this going forward.
Gino hit a bomb.
Yeah.
Who'd they play? Israel?
Yes.
Yeah,
Dom Canzone hit a bomb.
Dom hit one too?
Yeah, he hit one in the upper deck in Houston, and then the Italian celebration is they take an espresso shot, and Vinny Pasquantino of the Royals made it so strong that Dom Canzone had to spit it out. He was just like, whoa.
Dom's Americanized, man. He ain't used to that coffee over there. Now, it's been great. It's been great, man. And hopefully the U.S. comes through tonight. Because last time, Japan beat us in the finals, I believe, in the final out was who? Ohtani against
Mike Trout.
Trout, yeah. Yeah, so no, it's been good.
So, you know how we just talked about Coby Bryant as a possibility for the Bears?
Goodness, what happened?
Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network says the Bears are signing Coby Bryant per sources. So that is the second Seahawk to appear to be on his way out of Seattle.
That one hurts the most for me. I've been a Coby guy since day one. I'm happy for Coby. You go ahead and get your money, but this defense has some work to do. Do you go with Ty Okada? Do you draft another safety? What are you going to do at the edges now? Does that open up money for you to offer Mafe some cash? So now it's going down, man. It's going down quickly. Curtis has his X feed up, and he'll be shooting us with all the updates as they happen. We got a good show for you today. We got Gary Hill at 11. We got Brady Henderson at 12. But coming up next, man, Maxx Crosby, he's off the board. He's over there with Baltimore, but did another D-lineman just become available? We'll let you know who that is next on the Bump Stacy Show. We got Curtis Rogers filling in.
All week long, Lyman and Bob are broadcasting live from Mariners spring training in Peoria, Arizona. Every afternoon starting at 2.
I cannot wait to get down there.
The expectations.
Based on what we saw last year, what they've done in the offseason, that's not kooky talk, Dave.
No, it's not.
Your favorite Mariners.
If you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations.
Lyman and Bob live at Mariners spring training all week long on the home of your AL West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Roger. Roger, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
Over the last several years, my homeowner's insurance policies just kept on going up and up and up. For years, it was $1,100. Last year, it was $2,500. And this year, $5,000. That's what got me to call First Mark Insurance.
Were they able to save you any money?
Absolutely. Within a couple of days, came up with a proposal that blew my socks off. It was an amazing amount of reduction in cost.
Did they they improve your coverage while saving you all that money?
They did both. The coverage is better and the cost is substantially less. It's half as much as I was paying last year. We'll recommend First Mark to anyone who is looking to get better coverage at less cost.
Well, Roger did it, my family did it, and you got to do it, and it's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge and see how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Need some TLC for your hybrid or EV? A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue gives you fast, cost-effective, guaranteed service. Go to myevpros.com or call 425-96-EV-FIX. A&M Auto Repair treats you fair and square.
P&D Tree Service, your local experts in tree removal. 24-hour emergency service. Fast, efficient, and safe removal of trees from your yard or neighborhood. Ever seen a tree removed by a crane? Enjoy a safe and clean yard. PNDTreeservice.com.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply. Don't miss Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be two. JP has it, goes to the bag, steps on second, fires to first, double play.
Broadcast times at seattlesports.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make zero payments and accumulate zero interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's legal tampering season here in the NFL, and it's going down. Eric K9 is going to the Chiefs. We got Coby Bryant, who's going to the Bears, and the big name that was Maxx Crosby, right? He's off the board. He's going to the Baltimore Ravens. He signed himself a deal over there. 2 first-round picks is what they sent over, but according to Jeremy Fowler from ESPN, with defensive tackle Jordan Davis now extended, we're talking about Philly here, Philly also must weigh whether to extend Jalen Carter, who's eligible for a new deal. I'm told Philly has received trade calls on Carter. Now, we remember Carter. It came down to Witherspoon or Carter in the draft a few years ago, and both teams won. Philly has gotten production out of Carter. They won a Super Bowl.
Both teams have won a Super Bowl.
Seahawks got production out of Witherspoon. They've won a Super Bowl. Here's what Clint Hurtt had to say about that situation.
The big thing was he and Spoon were the two guys that were the big discussion there for us, and loved both players and thought the world of both of them. But I spent a lot of time getting to know him and learning him, and it was always a tough one. When those decisions are made, and I think both of them have unbelievable talent and ability, and have bright futures ahead of them. So it's been pretty cool learning him then, and again the opportunity to coach him now. And he's maturing, coming along. I've been really pleased with the development so far through the offseason program.
He's maturing. That was the big thing. And this past season, he spat at Dak.
He sure did.
Bars.
Opening night.
Didn't even get a play in. And also he has a whole bunch of unnecessary roughness penalties. He slapped a dude in the NFC Championship game. He's been benched by Sirianni for some behavior stuff. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. Those are the concerns about Jalen Carter, right? His behavior. Clint Hurtt saying he's maturing. He's his coach now. Of course he's going to say that. Would you take a look at the young Jalen Carter?
Call me old-fashioned, but I don't like it when people have a legal issues headline on their Wikipedia page. That's kind of something that is a red flag for me. And obviously the story about him prior to the draft with the unfortunate accident, the street racing accident that claimed the life of that Georgia Bulldogs staff member, like, who knows if Jalen Carter was responsible for that or not. We'll never know. But it's sort of the issues that have popped up since then where it's kind of like, buddy, when you have something like that in your past, you got to be on your P's and Q's going forward. You can't really, let people continue to hold that over you if you truly weren't at fault. And, like, the spitting is gross. Like, that's something you should never, ever do. That's one of the most disrespectful things you can ever do. But I just think that if Philadelphia is not able to get him on the straight and narrow, then I don't know what else could. Because, like, the opportunity to win a Super Bowl exists right now in Philadelphia nearly every single season. That should make everybody want to act their very best not to ruin that opportunity. And I don't know if that has necessarily been the case for Jalen Carter in Philadelphia. Bring him over to Seattle now, an area where he's unfamiliar, and who knows if he would ever welcome a trade here or whatnot. But, like, I don't know. I don't think the Seahawks are at a point in their run where they should be taking risks like this. Whereas Maxx Crosby, I think, was a sure thing. Like, I think Maxx Crosby was somebody that you don't need to worry about in that way. Whereas with Jalen Carter, you kind of – he's one of those players, Bump, where coaches don't like because they can't have a peaceful night's sleep. Coaches want guys where they can go to sleep at night and not have to worry about the phone calls and the texts and the emails that they might get in the morning.
Yeah, and with Jalen, it's could he come over here and just acclimate and just be one of the guys? Because the culture is different. You look at just Nick Sirianni, his personality, in the personality of Philadelphia. I think, honestly, Jalen going to Philly was probably the best thing for him. It's a more rugged, rough around the edges type of culture, whereas over here in Seattle, it's a bit more kumbaya. Now, you got some dogs out there. Don't get it twisted. The dark side is real, but the way they do things is a bit different. So it's always been his behavior, his antics have always been a concern. Here's Chris Canty on that.
We've seen the personal fouls. We've seen the mental lapses where he'll jump off sides and create a penalty at the most inopportune moment. And so you're hoping that you could find a way to corral him because he is just 24 years old sitting here today, soon to be 25. He's a young player that is still ascending. So you want to give yourself every opportunity to see that through and to see what he can become. But now with the Eagles paying Jordan Davis $26 million a year and a new money average on an extension, with them potentially re-signing Jalen Phillips to a big money contract on the eve of free agency, you're wondering, how much money can the Eagles afford to invest on their defensive line? Has it gotten to a point where the shenanigans from Jalen Carter are too much for the coaching staff and the locker room to handle? I don't know.
Well, here's what will help him. Jalen Phillips is signed with someone else since that take. Who did he sign with? You remember, Curtis?
Panthers.
Signed with the Panthers, right? Yeah. So that does free up some money, but it's the other stuff that goes with it. Like, what head coach, what GM is willing to deal with it? Because you know something's going to happen. But at the same time, remember, Curtis, people talk about the old 14 all the time, DK Metcalf, and his antics and his personal fouls. I don't think it was as bad as people made it out to be, but it definitely was a distraction, something that we talked about. We almost saw, the Hawks shoot themselves in the foot with Reek during Super Bowl. Can you just lock it in and stay focused and do your job? And then my other question is, do you need a D tackle right now? I think your focus should be on the edge anyway.
I think so, too, because, your D tackles, you got Byron Murphy, who is one of the best young defensive tackles in the game, who is already giving you close to what Jalen Carter has given Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. You've got Leonard Williams, who, yes, is probably on the later stages of his career, but has been playing at an all-pro level since Mike Macdonald took over. Like, he is one of the very best defensive tackles in the game. I saw somebody point out on the text line, 206 said, Leo Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence will keep him in line. It's like, maybe. I mean, those are two great veterans to learn from, for sure. Those are two great culture setters to have in that defensive line room. But again, like, the incentive to win a Super Bowl should be enough to keep guys on their very best behavior, and that hasn't necessarily been the case in Philadelphia. Now, Nick Sirianni does like to run things a little hot in Philadelphia. He likes to create some friction between his guys. We've seen it with how the team feels about, like, Jalen Hurts, how they feel about A.J. Brown, how they feel about Nick Sirianni himself. Like, there's been a lot of people in Philadelphia that are kind of like, this guy really gets under my skin, but man, he knows how to win some football games. And here in Seattle, it's such a different locker room culture where it was so businesslike every single game, every single week. Like, there was hardly ever any noise coming out of Seahawks headquarters this year in terms of just distraction, in terms of anything. Like, they kept everything so buttoned up and so, like, tight. Would bringing in somebody that is kind of a loose cannon like Jalen Carter be too big of an interruption to that? I just don't think that he is a fit personality-wise for what Mike Macdonald wants to do. Now, talent-wise, it's undeniable. You look at what Jalen Carter has done in his career. He is already a two-time Pro Bowler. He's a second-team All-Pro. He was part of the All-Rookie team in 2023, and that's not to ignore what he did in college, where he was a unanimous All-American, two-time national champ. Like, this guy has been part of winners his entire career, but I don't know, Bump. To me, the risk for a player like Jalen Carter, it seems like there's just too much concern to make it, a comfortable move for the Seahawks.
Nobody wants to babysit a grown man. Leo and the gang should not have to worry about Jalen Carter and what he's doing. And also, if it don't fit, it just don't fit. I don't care how talented you are, man. Mike has done a great job in 2 seasons here building a culture. So let's say he does sign, or they do sign Jalen Carter, then I'm going to go out there and say that lines were drawn in the sand. They're saying, look, man, you have to be on point. Like, we will not tolerate this, that, and the third. And maybe they have shown, or he has shown, that he can be trusted. But me right now, I'm saying, man, rock with your D tackles you got right now. You got Riley, who's on the up and up as well. Focus on your edge and get that position locked down. But like I say, in John and in Mike, we trust. So we'll see how they handle that. All right, man, the World Baseball Classic has been fire so far, man. So many moments to talk about. We'll break that down next on the Bump Stacy Show. We got Curtis Rogers in for Stacy.
The Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, ladies and gentlemen.
K9 is gone.
Ian Rappaport, the Chiefs are signing Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker.
Handoff straight ahead goes to Walker. He finds a gap, 40, 35.
3 years, $45 million, the highest paid free agent running back in NFL history.
Tough to see him go, but congrats to him on cashing in like this.
When this team needed you the most, you were at your very best.
A heck of a run by Ken Walker III.
What's up, Bump here? When I see daylight savings time on the calendar, I think of one thing. It is golf season. If you're like me, more daylight means more time on the links. I know a lot of you guys listening are counting down the work week until you're free to tee it up this weekend. I have a course for you to try. It's Lumen's Trails. It's in Blaine. It's a hidden gem. Ranked top 15 in the state by Golf Digest. It's challenging. It's fun. And trust me, it is worth your trip. While you're there, make a weekend out of it and stay at Silver Reef Casino Resort. Unwind in a deluxe room. Grab a bite in one of their many restaurants. I prefer the steakhouse and the cantina. There's wall-to-wall sports where you can watch every single basketball game in March and have a lot of fun doing it. You can even get the little spa package for your significant other. Man, it's cool. I've done it. It's great. Silver Casino Resort. Head north on the 5 exit 260. I love it there. If you've been there, you know what you're missing. If you haven't been there, man, make sure you get there this week and have some fun. Book your stay at silverreefcasino.com. One more time, that's silverreefcasino.com.
At Bible Law Group, our team reflects the same lessons learned by our founder, James Bible, while playing for legendary Husky coach Don James. Coach James always said it's amazing what gets done when nobody claims credit. That's the philosophy we carry into every case, because your victory is what matters at Bible Law Group. When your legal problems hit biblical levels and you feel like you're stuck in a lion's den of litigation, you need a legal team that won't back down. At Bible Law, we've secured over $40 million in settlements for our clients, and we're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
We've got a surefire way for you to feel lucky this St. Patty's Day. Get a saltwater hot spring spa from Olympic Hot Tub. Take advantage of big savings and get 5 years to pay for it, interest-free. But hurry, this deal ends St. Patrick's Day. OlympicHotTub.com.
Find your pot of gold at Lake Washington Windows and Doors, with savings up to 20% on new windows and doors for your home. Plus, enjoy easy 12-month same-as-cash financing. Strike gold today. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Hey homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill and stressed because your consumer debt and monthly payments are too high? Well, Brock Hewitt here with a smart solution. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than ever. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. Consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate your high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and student loans, or get cash for a remodel. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt now may be the best decision you ever make. With excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington for over 25 years, Tila has competitive rates on refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call Tila Mortgage today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046. Join the Seattle Sports Commission for a star-studded fundraising event featuring the athletes and icons of Washington sports. Experience red carpet interviews, sports exhibits, a silent auction, and live awards show. Created for the sports community by the sports community, all while supporting the nonprofit power of Seattle sports. Don't miss your chance to be among the stars on March 13th at the 91st Annual Sports Star of the Year presented by Microsoft. Get your tickets now at seattlesports.org.
Don't miss Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be two. JP has it, goes to the bag, steps on second, fires to first, double play.
Broadcast times at seattlesports.com.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? But do you have a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it your own home gym? Hey, Brock Heward here, and working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years, and you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. Simply give them your room dimensions, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It's no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. They also have everything from flooring to weights that go in a home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months, plus mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here to get you in the best shape, so go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about canned cocktails. Joe's six-pack has become Jane four-pack. And what about those hard seltzers? Shopping for a six-pack now is nothing like it used to be. Did you know those 4 to 6 drinks are more like pounding a 12er? Let's get serious. A typical beer is 5% alcohol. A Cosmo margarita in a can, 20%. A pre-mixed old-fashioned, up to 35%. See the problem? Sounds like an old-fashioned way to get arrested. Buying canned cocktails is like a game of Russian roulette. Literally. Beware the Moscow Mules and White Russians. Barkeep, send in more hard lemonade. So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. With us, you always know what you're getting, and you don't wind up in the can.
1-800-DUI-AWAY. From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We're going to talk about the World Baseball Classic with just an update on what's been going on. K9 goes to the Chiefs. And you got Coby Bryant recently, 3 years, $40 million, according to Jordan Schultz. He will be a Chicago Bear next season. Curtis, real quick, are you looking at Ty Okada and saying save us? Or are you looking at that draft?
For the safety spot, I think probably Ty Okada. I mean, he's just got the experience of being in the system and played really well this season when called upon. I think that is probably the move right now. Maybe you go out and draft somebody, but, I mean, you've only got 4 picks right now. I think you've got to potentially look at trading down out of the first round in order to kind of round out your roster a little bit better. But some of the contract details for Coby Bryant, who is appearing to be headed towards the Chicago Bears, Jordan Schultz has his contract looking at a 3-year, $40 million deal. So if you want to break that down to average annual value, that comes out to about $13.3 million over those 3 seasons, which, Bump, when you hear $13.3 million for a safety of Coby Bryant's caliber, I think that might have been a little bit too rich for the Seahawks liking.
Too rich for the Seahawks, but I think right on point for what he means to the league. I mean, Coby Bryant had started at corner, moved to nickel, went to safety, had 2 really good years at safety, taking the football out the air, getting downhill, bringing the lumber when it comes to hitting ball carriers, man. Good luck to Coby Bryant over there with the Chicago Bears, man. We appreciate what you did for the squad. 3 years, $40 million. Go get your money, young man.
Another running back name that has been talked about here in Seattle is Tyler Algier. That was somebody who people kind of looked at as a potential replacement for Ken Walker. Well, he will not be coming to Seattle. Jordan Schultz also reporting that the Cardinals are signing Falcons running back Tyler Algier to a 2-year, $12 million deal. That $6 million for Algier, that seems very palatable. That seems like good value for him.
Yeah, and I think he's best when he's teamed up with somebody. Here, if he were to come here, right? I mean, obviously I would have taken Algier, but he would be the number 1 back waiting for Zach Charbonnet to get healthy. Over there, you have James Conner, who I believe is healthy, and there'll be a nice little 1-2 combo over there. Congratulations, Algier. So another name off the board. We got to look elsewhere for that running back position. All right, let's get to the WBC, man. Curtis, the first thing I said to you when I walked into the building today was, man, the WBC has just been crazy this weekend, watching all these games go down, man. A walk-off here, a bomb there, the passion in the crowd, the players down there ripping their jerseys off after a home run. Here's Puerto Rico's walk-off.
And the 1-2 crushed left field line deep. Puerto Rico, increíble!
Yeah, man. That was one of my favorites. Like I said, I like seeing Geno do his thing as well. What are your thoughts on the WBC so far?
It's been so much fun to have baseball that actually means something this early in the month of March. Like, it's so cool to have this going on during the daytime and then also at nighttime too. And it gets you more into the rhythm of the baseball season, but these games do kind of have a playoff-like atmosphere to them. It would have been cool if USA had played maybe a little bit tighter games in their first two games. Now, they did have to kind of battle it out a little bit early with Great Britain. It was Kyle Schwarber who had the go-ahead home run in the fifth inning.
Schwarber launches it to right. He's done it against the Prince again. The United States takes the lead on a blast to the upper deck.
But the WBC bump, I remember in the early days of it, it was just kind of viewed as this like awkward exhibition tournament that I don't think every country necessarily took. It didn't have the biggest importance to every country. I think Team USA did not really send the best rosters possible, but seeing the buy-in over the last couple of WBCs, not just from, all the other countries out there, because Japan always sends their best, Cuba always sends their best, what have you, but the buy-in from Team USA, I think, has given a legitimacy to this tournament and has kind of upped the ante for every team that is participating, saying like, well, they're sending their best. We need to send our best. We need to send our best. And that has provided some incredible viewing over the last couple of days.
I would say the buy-in from the U.S., the precision of Japan, and the passion of the DR, Dominican Republic. You want to have some fun watching baseball? You watch the DR play some baseball, man. It's the passion that they have in their culture. Because if you know any Dominican people, they are super passionate about anything that they do. So you put them on a diamond, and you have, the DR produces a lot of great ball players, man. You look at that roster, it's like, goodness gracious, I forgot how good the Dominican are.
Yeah, and somebody said it's crazy. Somebody should do research how a tiny island like the Dominican Republic, which I believe square footage-wise is the same as like the state of West Virginia. It's small, and yet it produces all these superstar players. Like, what's going on there? What's in the water? How are they able to do this year in and year out, developing all these superstar players? When I look at like dream matchups, Bump, in this tournament, last WBC in 2023, we had the finale of Japan against Team USA.
Yeah,
I want to see USA against the Dominican Republic. We haven't seen that in the World Baseball Classic, I feel like, in a while, and that to me would be such an incredible viewing experience. It is interesting too, Bump. You see the passion from all these other countries, and then Team USA just has this like business-like approach where they're not, hooting and hollering the way that other teams are. And I don't know. I feel like if Team USA really needs to, and maybe it was the opponents that they're playing.
Probably.
Like USA heavy favorite against Brazil, USA heavy favorite against Great Britain. Like, you're not going to be flexing on those countries because they just don't have the baseball history that the Dominican does, that Japan does, what have you. But like, Team USA has the talent. It'd be cool to see those guys get a little amped up for their. Now Mexico is a step up in competition.
Oh yeah,
I would expect them to play a pretty close game today.
And they got our number, man, 3-1 against us in the WBC. So if I am anybody on that roster, this is the game you get up to. Like, you don't celebrate beating up on the little brother too much. You flex a little bit, but you keep it in perspective. Have you seen Harry Ford? I didn't watch much of that game.
Yeah, he hit a home run against. I don't think it was against Team USA. It was against Mexico, maybe. Hit one into the left field bleachers in Houston. So good to see him get going. I'm really excited to see Randy. I'm excited to see Andres Munoz potentially tonight. I'm excited to see Cal. What if Cal has to go up against Andres Munoz tonight?
That'd be beautiful.
That'd be so awesome. Yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
And then, conversely, Gabe Spire could go up against Randy Arozarena, too, because Spire's in the American bullpen. So those are the matchups that I'm hoping to see tonight. I want to see Munoz against Cal Raleigh. That would be the coolest thing.
Are we in the elimination part yet?
No, this is the finishing game, I believe, of group play, and then we'll finally get to the knockout round coming up in a couple of days. So, yeah, Team USA, I think, has already clinched. They've already clinched a spot in the knockout round. So, very much on their way. Yeah, I think so.
All right. Biggest Korea, too, man. First time getting out of pool play, I believe. I read that somewhere. So, Korea, do your thing. Ryan Rowland-Smith, all good, man. Hey, he's over there calling games. So,
yeah, he's in the Puerto Rico region. He is with he got to call that Puerto Rico walkout.
Yep, good stuff. All right, that was what is going on in the WBC. When we come back, we'll be joined by Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill. That's next on the Bump Stacy Show.
All week long, Wyman and Bob are broadcasting live from Mariners spring training in Peoria, Arizona. Every afternoon starting at 2.
I cannot wait to get down there.
The expectations.
Based on what we saw last year, what they've done in the offseason, that's not kooky talk, Dave.
No, it's not.
Your favorite Mariners.
If you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations.
Wyman and Bob live at Mariners spring training all week long on the home of your AL West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
If you actually are the person that will take care of them after the fact, if you actually will be there for them, if you will pick up your phone, then they come back to you.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No, we'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is a test of your emergency alert system.
Your new home for Tesla, EV, and hybrid maintenance is A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue with dealer-level diagnostics, electrical, mechanical, and suspension repairs. Find A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue online at myevpros.com or 425-96-EV-FIX.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The WBC continues as the U.S. takes on Mexico at 5 p.m. Mexico has a 3-1 record against the U.S. in the WBC. The Mariners and the Diamondbacks play today. First pitch is at 1:10. Brian Wu is on the mound, and K9 is gone. He will sign a deal with the Chiefs, 3 years, $45 million.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross. Here we go now.
We are joined now by Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill. Gary, how we doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Bob?
I'm doing good. I'm watching a little WBC. I'm keeping track with the Mariners are doing. How are you balancing your time with all this baseball going on?
I don't balance it. It's just all baseball all the time. I'm completely immersed from the moment I wake up to the time I go to bed here. That's the thing about spring training for me. It's a lot of getting ready for the season. So it's constant. Just conversations with players and coaches, and for the players that haven't been in camp before, just kind of getting to know them a little bit and getting to know what they're about and kind of their stories. And then we broadcast a game, and the WBC is going on at the same time. It's wild, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's super fun.
Well, Gary, with so many of the Mariners off to the WBC and still doing group play and all that, it leaves a lot of opportunity for the guys remaining in camp. Who has kind of stuck out to you in the days since everybody departed Peoria and went their separate ways?
Yeah, that part has been a little weird, just like walking around in the mornings and where did everyone go? Because there are a lot of guys. I think the Dodgers and Mariners have the most players that are in the WBC, and it's a lot when you take nearly 20 guys out of camp and a lot of the starting lineup, as we've all seen, out of camp. But you're right. It has opened up playing time for a lot of different players. And part of that, we've seen young guys a lot, like Cole Emerson has played a ton, which has been super fun. The guy who I think about a lot is Brennan Davis, who has, I think, opened some eyes here in Mariners camp. He's somebody that has been a top prospect in the game. He's just suffered a ton of injuries over time. And he looks pretty interesting and really opened some eyes yesterday with the long home run off of the Miz, who's got wicked stuff. He threw a 98-mile-per-hour fastball, and he took it out at, I think, 116. So it was a super impressive home run. And, do I think that with health, do I think he'll make the club out of camp? Probably not. But it's the kind of performance that, hey, you go to Tacoma, and as we know, the Mariners are going to need players during the course of the season, whether it's outfielders or infielders or relievers or whatever. And it feels like he's playing himself into an opportunity at some point. Like, let's say Robles gets banged up. He would fit into a right-handed platoon with the way he's playing right now. So I think it's an opportunity for guys to work themselves into opportunities. And I think that's what we're seeing with Brennan Davis.
Hey, Gary, you already mentioned a couple of names, but is there someone who maybe isn't on anyone's radar, right? A guy that we know we're not going to see, a young guy who you felt like has taken advantage of this opportunity?
Yeah, well, I feel like Cade Henderson has done that. That's not a name under the radar, but it's the first time he's pitched in Pro Bowl. He got drafted last year. The Mariners shut him down because he had 119 innings, high inning total. So this is the first time we've actually laid eyes on him in Pro Bowl, and he's looked pretty impressive. And you think about, or at least I think about the Mariners coming into the season, and I think one of the big questions for me is rotation depth. Because as much as we would love 5 guys to take the ball all season long, that's just not reality. That's not going to happen. They're going to need 6, 7, 8, 9 starters during the course of the season. And I think Hancock is an easy choice to be one of those guys who's looked pretty good in the spring so far, by the way. And after that, it's like, okay, who else? Who do they go to? Criswell is a name you should probably hold on to because I think he's made Cooper Criswell. I think he's made a case to make the club so far. One is he's versatile. He can pitch out of the pen. He can start. He doesn't have options too, which is a factor when it comes to roster decisions. So that's a name I'll hold on to. After that, who are we looking at? And it feels like Cade Anderson. I know it's wild to say because he has not pitched in a pro game outside of a couple of Cactus League appearances, but I feel like he's climbed the ladder in that regard. And I feel like, given what we've seen, that we will see him at some point. But it's a funny question overall because the Mariners are pretty set. With health, we kind of know what the lineup's going to be. We know the platoon situations outside of probably backup catcher, a couple spots at the back end of the bullpen, and maybe the last guy on the roster. Everything is set. So I feel like it is more auditions for opportunities more than anything else, providing health, of course, which is always the caveat.
Gary, one guy who seems to have an opening day spot locked up in the starting lineup would be Cole Young at second base, and got off to a really slow start in Cactus League play, but had a 2-home run game over the weekend, has started to look a little more comfortable at the plate. What have you seen from him over the last few days that has contributed to this?
Yeah, he's been good. The 2-home run game was great. He also hit a sizzling line drive in that game as well that was caught. He's hitting the ball harder the last couple of times. And I know that's something that Shannon has reported on and Kevin Seitzer has talked about, that they want him to really hit the fastball. And he feels like he was kind of in between last year. And he didn't hit the fastball well when you look at the numbers, but he has the ability to. So that's something that I think that's something to continue to watch, is how does he hit the fastball moving forward. I also think he's moved a lot better at second base. I think defensively he's been better in the spring than we saw him last year, which I think is really helpful because I think infield defense if we're talking about questions for the Mariners, I think infield defense is another question. So improvement at second base defensively with him, I think would be a really good thing. But I think he's the front runner to be the opening day second baseman. And I also think when we think about Cole Young, it's important to think about the context where he's not going to have to carry the offense, right? You look at the top 5, they are going to carry the damage when you talk about Cal and Julio and everyone else in the top 5. When you're thinking about someone like Cole Young, a young player, you're looking at a guy who's going to hit towards the bottom of the order. You're asking him to hand off the baton, right? Hey, pop a homer now and again, that's great, but hit for average, get on base, and set the table for the guys at the top of the order. And I think that's what you're asking for Cole Young. And I think that's a really important distinction as opposed to some of the young guys that we have seen called up in years past. Like the top of the lineup is very strong. You can put it up against most in baseball right now. And so you're asking those guys to carry the damage. You're asking the guys at the bottom to contribute like Cole Young.
How are the arms looking? Anybody just kind of flashing for you?
Arms are looking good, especially the rotation. I thought Kirby was really interesting yesterday. The changeup that actually showed up on StatCast as a splitter, which means the movement was really good. With Kirby to get more swing and miss is great. He was using some pitch comp too, which is something we have never seen before. He used it for a handful of pitches, and after the game talked about how he really wants to be determined in certain situations. He doesn't want to go full pitch comp, call his own game, but he wants to, in certain situations, be in control of it, which I think is really great. So he's looked good. You know, Gilbert, the starting 5 outside of Miller, who I haven't seen a lot clearly, they've looked good. it's funny. Whenever I'm at spring training and given the Mariners, we're always wondering, like, okay, who's going to be the next Paul Sewald or Gabe Spire or Brazzardo, right? So I watch every single bullpen arm with kind of that in mind. And so there hasn't been, I wouldn't say there's been a ton of like overwhelming appearances out of the bullpen from those guys, but there's been some really interesting guys so far. Wilcox is one of them, Cole Wilcox, who was actually the number 2 starter at Georgia behind Emerson Hancock. And he is now transitioned to the bullpen. He pitched for the Rays last year, made his major league debut. He's a guy that's looked really impressive. He's just got really good stuff. And I think that's the thing that jumps out to me. Zulueta is another guy out of the bullpen who pitched for the Reds last year. He's got really good stuff. And we were talking to Dave Cameron the other day, and it is one of their goals. They were just trying to collect as many good arms as possible, knowing that at some point, guys like that are going to be necessary.
Gary, what was it like sitting through that 27-6 game the other day? I want to know.
Yes.
Did it feel like you had to wear it that day too?
That was unbelievable, and not in like a, wow, this is really great kind of way. It was, I mean, first of all, we get to the ballpark, and there are days when you look at the wind and go, oh, this is going to be bad. And that was one of those days. Right. But we have never seen it so bad. There were a couple plays that I will never forget. I'm just calling the game, and there's this foul ball that looks like it's going behind the Padres dugout like 5 rows. Instead, you're watching the wind push it, and it ends up being a fair ball. And it's like, this is insane. This is a circus that we're watching. And like any ball in the air, it's like, there it goes. And, I was thinking after the fact, because it's funny, the Padres are missing a lot of guys too, like Machado and Tatis, and the Mariners, their lineup was at the WBC. It's like, man, if like Cal and Julio and Tatis and Machado were all in this game, it would have been 75-72. We would have still be there right now. The game would still be going. I've never seen conditions like that. And I hope that was a one-time thing, because it was wild. It was wild. The home run calls at some point were just like, and home run, because when you get to a dozen home runs in a game, it kind of loses its luster.
That was a football score, Gary. That wasn't a baseball score.
Yes, it was. They're field goals. Yeah. I think somebody ran one back for a touchdown and an INT. Yeah, it was great. It's great.
Hey, I've had such a great time just watching the WBC and just the emotion that these athletes are playing with. It's hard to think of it as just an exhibition. What have been your favorite moments so far?
Oh, so there's a couple things I love about it. First of all, I love the passion. I love, you can see it, like when Canzone went upper deck, just the emotions, and it's wild, especially the contrast of spring training games, right? Where not a lot of passion or emotion, like it's guys getting ready for the season. And, spring training game, if you look at an emotional scale, it's like a 1 out of 10. And these games are like a 10, right? You see the big home runs and the big moments. And then the other thing I love is just like the normal people playing in some of these games, like the high schooler, pitching against Aaron Judge. Like he had class that day. He had to be excused from high school to pitch in the WBC, and he gets Aaron Judge to ground out in a double play. That is the coolest thing in the world. So I like both things. I just love, you look at the DR lineup and it's amazing, and Team USA and just how stacked it is. It's super fun to have all-star teams, but I also love just like the normal dudes, like the electrician pitching in the ball game. It's stuff like that. I just love the mix of the whole thing. I think it's great. I think it's great for the game because it is such an international game. And it does really drive home when you look at some of these teams, like, man, it is such a world game. And you feel that whenever you walk into a clubhouse, there are people from all over the world in every clubhouse, every walk of life, every background. And what's fun to me in the WBC and in the regular season is getting everyone to pull in the same direction from all these different places and all these different backgrounds. To me, it's one of the beauties of the game of baseball.
Gary, Bryce Harper made some comments over the weekend too about how he wants to see this turn into the Olympics. He wants to see Major League Baseball and the Players Association come to an agreement to allow players to play in the 2028 Olympics in LA. Where do you fall on that? Do you think that is something that should be a goal of both sides here as they enter these CBA negotiations after this year?
I would love it. I know the difficulties that would entail. Like, I mean, NHL pulls it off, but they're not an everyday game like baseball is. So I fully acknowledge like how difficult that would be to actually pull off. But I think it would be so cool because I look at hockey and the passion in those, and even for people that I think aren't like huge hockey fans, they can get into that tournament because of the passion and the way they play and how good the teams are. So I think it'd be great. And I think it'd be great for the game, especially it feels like it should happen with the Olympics in the United States, right? It feels like that is a natural fit. Yeah. So I hope it happens. I would like to see it. But I know it's difficult to pull off because of the break and everything surrounding that, but I hope it happens.
Yeah, that'd be great to see. I mean, why not? Gary, so what are you, 18 games in, 20 games in? How deep are we right now?
That's a great question. That's an excellent question.
It's all just kind of the same every day.
It's a really good question. And it's one that I don't have the answer to. I currently cannot tell you the Mariners record. I can't tell you how many games they've played.
Okay.
It is, well, because honestly, records don't matter down here, so I don't pay that close of attention.
Wow, okay.
It does, when you get to this part of spring, it does feel pretty Groundhog Day. Like you wake up, you go to the complex, you talk to a bunch of people about baseball, which is great. You go call a game. I do a hike. I go home. I do it all over again the next day. And it just feels like I've been down here for 6 months. So,
okay.
I know we're over halfway. We're over halfway.
Well,
I know that.
All right, well,
and I know I can't wait for opening day. We're getting there.
I was just going to ask you how you were feeling, Gary. It's a wellness check.
Yeah. I mean, I feel great. It's fun. I'm talking about baseball and the sunshine's fun, but I do look forward to the regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. All right. Well, we'll be listening. We'll be watching. He's Mariners broadcaster, Gary Hill. We appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Gary.
Anytime, guys. This was fun.
Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Bump, first down to you. Ken Walker, he's off the market. A couple other names coming off the market, too, while we spoke with Gary Hill. So what do you think the Hawks should do at running back?
Oh, man, one, they should pray for a speedy recovery by Zach Charbonnet. Make sure that he is ahead of schedule, at least on schedule. Then you got to hope that Kenny McIntosh is able to fill a void. Not necessarily be the number one guy, but do something to help this ball club. He's been banged up as well. But after that, I think you have to go to the draft. I've said his name before. Damon Claiborne out of Wake Forest, 907 yards, 10 touchdowns, averaged 5.1 per carry. When I say this dude has a burst, he has a burst, man. His first 3 steps are quicker than most guys I've seen at that level. Next, you got Jamari Taylor out of Virginia. 1,000, that would be a lot of yards. 1,062 yards, 14 touchdowns, 4.8 per clip. He's more of a physical type of back. He can get downhill. So in the meantime, you got to wait for Kenny McIntosh. Kenny, get healthy. Here's your opportunity. Here's your chance. All right, Zach Charbonnet, you get healthy. When you come back, you're going to get the rock. And then you got to go to the draft and pick up 1, maybe even 2, depending on how many picks you get. If you can flip this 4 into 7 or something like that. But at least 1. You got to address it in the draft and get 1 guy. We've seen the running backs fly off the shelf right now. K9's with the Chiefs. You got a Gainwell who's with Tampa Bay. Algier is now with the Cardinals. And then Travis Etienne is with the Saints. It's all the guys we want is gone. Still got Rico out there, though. So Rico might be an option. So get yourself a veteran, draft yourself a rookie, and hope that one of these other backs on your roster does something.
Second down. All right, Bump. Coby Bryant headed to the Bears. So what should the Seahawks do at safety?
All right, so you got Ty Okada, who played at 742 snaps. 6 passes defended. He had 1 interception. Ty Okada started off rough with this team against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He got his first start. But after that, he started to get better and better and better. But you still got some guys out there. All right, you got Jalen Thompson. Oh, Jalen Cease out there. Yes, Jalen Thompson is out there. A safety with the Cardinals. He's a guy, go Cougs. A big safety out there, can move. You got Geno Stone. Remember Geno Stone? He was beating us up when he was with Baltimore. He's with Cincinnati. He knows this system, though. I look at Geno, 6 years in the game. We'll look at Thompson, about, 6, 7 years in the game as well. You got to look at one of these options. I think Ty Okada is good enough to be your starter. I think that he's going to continue to get better, but I also know that you need depth at this position. Safety is a position that plays on almost every special teams, too, because they can tackle, they can cover, they can do all that good stuff. So you got Ty Okada, 742 snaps. Got Jalen Thompson out there, Geno Stone, who knows this system already. Let's see if Mike McDonald wants to reunite with him.
Third down. Third down, Bob. What has been a head-scratching move made so far in free agency?
You said it in headlines, man. And Tua to Atlanta is kind of weird to me. Tua in Atlanta. You got Michael Penix over there who's coming off a knee surgery. I get that. You're saying they're going to let Kirk Cousins go. You have Easton Stick as well. You pointed out a lefty for a lefty over there, so the receivers are used to the spin of the football. Whatever it is, I firmly believe that Tua needs to sit for a year and just get his mind right.
Collect his thoughts.
Collect all of his thoughts. Learn how to lead, too. The way he was leading over there in Miami that last year, it was kind of weird, man. He's calling players out. And you don't even have the resume to do that yet. Yeah, you're getting paid like you are a franchise guy, but anyone who watches that team play knows that he is not a franchise guy. Does he have the ability to be? Maybe. You know, his arm isn't the strongest, but he's found a way to make do. But Tua to Atlanta. Head scratcher for me. That's you, Matt Ryan. Hope it works out for you over there.
Fourth down. All right, Bump, we're about 2 hours into the free agency here. What team in the division are you keeping an eye on?
Those dang Rams, man. All right,
go away.
Find another DB. Jalen Watson. Go Cougs. He was with the Chiefs. You also got Trent McDuffie over there who's getting paid. Trent McDuffie getting paid. But they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They had a weakness on that football team. Not too many weaknesses because we played them 3 times and they were grinders, right? But that secondary was not the greatest. So what did they do? They go out and get 2 good secondary players, man. Trent McDuffie is a great player. You got Jalen Watson as well. Now, I'm keeping an eye on the Rams, and you have to, because when you enter the season, you know they're going to be, a lot of people have them picked a favorite to win the Super Bowl. You look at their Arizona Cardinals, and you're peeping them out and seeing what they're doing. I'm waiting to see what the Niners are going to do with Trent Williams. They're saying, look, he's up for trade. If they can't figure something out, you guys go ahead and come get him. Still one of the better tackles in the game, even though he's about 36 or 37 years of age. And I look across the league, and everyone's making moves. It's the time to do it. But we're losing right now, right? Because we lost 2 of our guys and haven't really added anything yet. So I'm looking at the Rams. I respect what they're doing because that secondary was not the greatest, and they got better at that position.
Yeah, I think the Rams, they seem to have nearly everything kind of taken care of already, especially with the addition of McDuffie in their secondary. I do kind of wonder what they might do. Obviously, you're still kind of wondering if they'll fill out the backup quarterback spot with anybody with Jimmy Garoppolo and whatnot. I was kind of wonder if maybe offensive line, they make some adds there. Maybe they address that position in the draft. Pick number 13. You know what? I don't think he's going to fall to them at 13. I think he's going to be off the board probably before pick 10. But, like, I would hate it if Jeremiah Love ended up in L.A.
Man.
That would be.
Oh, my God.
That would be the worst case scenario.
Somebody take him immediately.
Yeah.
Don't let that happen.
What's interesting, too, is that with Love being the best running back prospect in this draft, 2 teams who we thought would be in the running for him, Kansas City and New Orleans at picks 9 and 10, both signed free agent running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Does that maybe mean they're not going to take Jeremiah Love, or do they put Love in situations like that with veterans? But New Orleans already has Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, they do. But I think it'll be so hard to pass them up.
Yeah.
You see him there, and now you got a 3-headed monster back there if you are the Saints. I don't know, but they got their security, though. They made sure that they got one of these free agents, and we shall see. But Love, man, if Love were to go to any of those teams, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
He ain't dropping at 32, I'll tell you that, Curtis.
Probably not.
He ain't dropping at 32.
Probably not.
All right, man, we have more to do on the Bump and Stacy Show, man. We got the timeline coming up next, man. We got the World Baseball Classic. We're going to talk about that. Bryce Harper had some things to say about it. And Scooble was only supposed to pitch in one game, but he says, like, the emotion that he feels is getting him to want to do it. And also, you got some cool stories, man, coming back from the WBC. So we'll talk about that next and a lot more. I'm Michael Bumpus. That's Curtis Routers. Bump and Stacy.
The Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, ladies and gentlemen.
K9 is gone.
Ian Rappaport, the Chiefs are signing Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker.
Handoff straight ahead goes to Walker. He finds a gap, 40, 35.
3 years, $45 million, the highest paid free agent running back in NFL history.
Tough to see him go, but congrats to him on cashing in like this.
When this team needed you the most, you were at your very best.
A heck of a run by Ken Walker III.
Shop the West Coast's largest Mazda dealer, Mazda of Everett, with more new Mazdas in stock than any dealer in the region. Shop over 780 new Mazdas. Click on the Mazda of Everett price. At Mazda of Everett, exceptional customer satisfaction is the standard. Plus, at Mazda of Everett, you negotiate directly with the owner. Locally owned, trusted by thousands. Shop MazdaofEverett.com and see why we're #1. The madness tips off next week, and with it comes your chance to win the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. Adults ages 18 to 65 and older are invited to try out for the PSSBL this Sunday, March 15th at Hogan Park at Russell Road in Kent. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-little leaguers to high school, college, and even former pros. Get all the info at PSSBL.com. That's PSSBL.com.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Reach label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Do you have at least 1 month worth of food in your pantry? If not, you should definitely go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now. My Patriot Supply is America's #1 supplier of long-term storable food. They've helped over 3 million Americans get prepared. And for a limited time, when you order their best-selling 4-week food supply, you'll get an additional week of food absolutely free. There's no catch, but act fast because this offer ends soon. Claim your free emergency food kit now at MyPatriotSupply.com. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
Get broadcast times for every Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League broadcast.
Holy smokes, he does it again!
At SeattleSports.com.
Sometimes we hang on to our old attorneys and coaches too long. They've been around, they've done good work. But when the legal game changes, you need a team that is hungry to win now. At Bible Law Group, we're that faster, hard-hitting legal team, ready to fight for every inch in the courtroom. With over 40 million closed for our clients, we know how to win, and we're ready to take on the biggest legal case of your career with you. Don't stick with a playbook that's gone stale. Switch to the legal team that's ready to win now. Let Bible Law Group be your linebacker in the courtroom. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
Hi, Chuck here at Frank Lumber, the door store. Something that happens here most every day are customers and contractors looking to purchase doors they can take today. Frank Lumber has a good selection of pre-hung display doors that are ready to go. And if we don't have what you need today, whether it be style or size, and you find a door in stock, we can still get you taken care of quickly. Come visit our showroom and bargain barn in Shoreline. Also, be sure to check us out online at franklumber.com.
And this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Lonnie. Lonnie, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
We've been with the same insurance company for over 32 years. And my husband said, come on, let's at least try it. And that was the smartest thing we ever did because we saved thousands, literally thousands a year on our insurance. They improved it. It cost me less, and it was a higher value. You know, I can't say enough good things about Scott because everything that he said he'd do, he did.
What do you tell your friends they can expect when they make the call to First Mark?
An easy, profitable, and actually pleasant call. They genuinely are trying to help you, and you can't beat that. We were silly to wait so long. A couple other friends that have called, too, they said, why didn't you tell us about this sooner?
You see, Lonnie did it. My family did it. You got to do it, and it's totally free. Go take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
This is the timeline on the Bump and Stacy Show. We're going to go down and talk about some things that might be lighting up your feed, man. Let's start with the World Baseball Classic. It's off to another great start. So how can baseball capitalize on this momentum? Team USA Bryce Harper says the Olympics are the only thing that can top it.
Yeah, I've been fighting for LA 28 for a long time. I think my whole career I've been trying to get, something started or something coming up. Obviously the WBC has been great, but it's not the Olympics, right? That's no disrespect to the WBC or anything, but everybody knows that when the Olympics are on, everybody's watching. Don't matter what sport it is. It could be the most random sport, and it's got all the fans watching it. So I'm hoping LA 28 happens. I'm hoping the next CBA agreement something can happen where teams and players can come to an agreement on taking that 2-week break, especially it being in our home country. It'd be great for baseball. You talk about growing the game, and being able to grow it at the highest level would help out tremendously.
Yeah, take a break, man. Hockey does it. Basketball, take a break. The USA in the Olympics, man. You want your best guys out there. This is fun. WBC is fun. Don't get me wrong, but you don't get that gold medal after this one.
Yeah, I think Bryce took a lot of heat for this comment because I think people are like, well, you're in the WBC right now. That should be your main focus. Like, why are we talking about 2028? And I think that's fair, but also we're all about growing the game. Everybody wants to see baseball get bigger. Everyone wants to see just all these sports get bigger and bigger and bigger. And there is no bigger stage really in competition than the Olympics. Like, that is the peak of like athletics in the world. Mm-hmm. And the WBC is great, and it has its audience, and it's an audience that I don't think has a lot of crossover to the casual sports viewer. I think it does have more crossover than, say, a regular season baseball game for sure. But the Olympics, Bump, like, our moms are tuning into that.
Yeah.
Like, grandmas are tuning into that. Like, just the casual person out there can probably tell you more people from the 2026 Olympics and names from the Alyssa Liu and all sorts of people that just captured everybody's imagination in the month of February. The Olympics are just a bigger deal than regular season baseball, than exhibition baseball.
I watched a man from Norway cross-country ski, lay down on his stomach, and fire a rifle at 5 targets, and was hyped about it. That's what the Olympics does, man. I've watched half pipe, downhill skiing. I mean, curling. I'm getting hyped for curling. Like, if you got USA on your chest, and you can win a gold medal, I'm going to be locked in. I don't know. I cannot even understand the sport. I will figure it out. Google is amazing. So I'm with him for this. I think he's going to be locked into the moment. It's the BC.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets in the batter's box, he's good to go. He's Bryce Harper. But someone has to come out there and apply pressure, and I'm okay with him doing it.
I do kind of wonder what the quality of Olympic baseball play would look like when they are in the middle of the baseball season. Everybody's, all warmed up, ready to go. Because guys are still just trying to get their first bit of game action in right here in the WBC. I mean, there's still I think Paul Skeens makes his first start tonight, but I don't think it's going to be much more than probably like 30 to 40 pitches from him.
Yeah.
Whereas in July, Skeens is probably going as many pitches as they'll allow him to. So I think the quality of play, even though it's been a lot of fun here to start the month of March with the WBC, I think it could be even better in the Olympics.
I agree. All right, next up, the Tigers and Tariq Skubal. I always call him Tariq. I'm going to call him Tariq. Skubal might be nearing another sticking point. Skubal was only scheduled to pitch in one game for Team USA, and he's having a change of heart. This is what Skubal told reporters following his start against Great Britain for the weekend. He says, "I didn't expect these type of emotions to run through my brain or my thoughts to defer. I was committed to making a start and getting back to camp. Things have changed, obviously. I'm going to have some conversation and try to figure out a plan." What that tells me is that he felt that passion. He felt the crowd. He feels the energy, and he wants to be a part of something. And that just tells you just what the environment is like. My man, I'm sure he went in, all right, one start, boom, I'm out of there. But he gets around the guys.
Yeah.
You start competing. You want to hang out.
I think he is, like you said, just kind of like in that moment, probably is like, man, I want to experience this as much as I can. I do think it's interesting how Skubal and the Tigers have been butting heads really all offseason. And were the Tigers going to trade him? Were they going to match his number in arbitration? Like, the disparity between what the Tigers were offering him and what Skubal was asking for in arbitration was staggering. I believe it was the biggest difference ever. Tigers offering 19, Skubal countering with 32, and the arbiter siding with Skubal, getting $32 million. It feels like Skubal is not a fan of what the Tigers are trying to do with him entering his final season, and I feel like pitching on this big of stage is going to maximize his value in a way that, going back to spring training just won't do. Like, I think Skubal's kind of fed up with the Tigers and how they've handled his situation. And right now, I think he's just kind of in this spot where, like, I want to do what I want to do. You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, he said, I already punked y'all for about $12 million more.
Yeah.
So let's get this done. Side note, Mike Evans is signing a 3-year deal with the 49ers. Keeping an eye around the division. That's a nice little possession receiver. Get into the red zone, toss it up to Mike. It's not, it doesn't have the speed that he used to have, but that helps, man. I see Niners make a move.
It's kind of a Cooper Kupp-like signing for the 49ers where you bring in this super established veteran. Evans is going to be a Hall of Famer one day. Maybe the most consistent receiver in NFL history when you think about it.
Behind
what was
Rice.
it? Yeah, 11 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons.
Yeah.
I think this move by the 49ers is getting an adult in the room. Going from Brandon Ayuk to Mike Evans, that's a culture setting move for sure.
It's a grown man right there.
Yeah.
All right, another story from the WBC, man. 17-year-old Brazilian pitcher Joseph Contreras, right? He got judged to ground into a double play.
Broken bat. Out there. The double play. How about that? All of 17. High school senior. The MVP's at the plate with the bags juiced. And he gets out of it.
Pitching against Judge. You're 17 years of age. You get him to ground onto a double play. Before I get your reaction, let's hear from Judge real quick.
Impressive. I know I wasn't doing that at 17 years old, that's for sure. And just great stuff. I felt like he had some poise on the mound. He's throwing up to 100 miles an hour. He's facing Team USA. A lot of guys he's probably seen on TV or different things like that. But it was just impressive. Impressive to see him just control himself out there, get out of a big jam, and Yeah, some good stuff.
At 17, I was just trying to pass chemistry, man.
17 years old, yeah. Now, if you had told 17-year-old me, who I think still had some delusions of grandeur about playing baseball beyond high school, that in this calendar year you're going to play against, I mean, who would have been the MVP back then? It would have been 2008 or something. That would have been like Albert Pujols or somebody like that. In 2008 AL MVP would have been Dustin Pedroia at the time. So maybe like Big Papi. Like you're going to go up and face him. And I've been like, what, now? Like pimples all over my face and whatnot. No, that's a really cool moment for him. And I think he definitely opened some eyes in terms of just because I believe he goes to high school here in the States. I believe he goes to high school in the Atlanta area. He's committed to Vanderbilt, but with the draft coming up, Bump, at the end of this or in the middle of this baseball season, I would imagine some teams are going to see a 17-year-old do what he did against Team USA and be like, you know what? Let's take him.
Let's take a look at this young man.
Yeah.
All right, here he is.
Yeah, I have been. Yesterday I had to keep up with my macroeconomics class, and then the day before I was working on math. Today I'm probably going to catch up on my science that I have to do. So, yeah.
Stay on top of them books, man.
That's right.
No matter where you are.
Readers are leaders.
Oh, man, but no, that has to be cool for that dude, man. At 17, obviously in football, there's no way you can go pro. But in baseball, you get to see that, man. There's another dude who I was impressed. It was Victor, the Great Britain guy who was on the mound. He was throwing some gas, too, man.
Yeah.
That's also what's cool about the WBC is you'll run across some names that you might not know, obviously because they're playing for their country and getting opportunities. That's one of the better things about the WBC. All right, man. Well, you know what? That segment's over. WBC is continuing on today. You got Team USA taking on Mexico at 5 p.m. Make sure you guys tune into that. But when we come back, man, we're going to look at the NFC West and what's going on with that free agency. That's coming up next on the Bump Stacy Show.
All week long, Wyman and Bob are broadcasting live from Mariners spring training in Peoria, Arizona. Every afternoon starting at 2.
I cannot wait to get down there.
The expectations.
Based on what we saw last year, what they've done in the offseason, that's not kooky talk, Dave.
No, it's not.
Your favorite Mariners.
If you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations.
Wyman and Bob live at Mariners spring training all week long on the home of your AL West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I've trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a very long time, so I know injuries happen. But when Emma tore her ACL on the mat, it was bad.
I typically have a pretty high pain tolerance. I gave birth 6 times with no pain meds at all, but this felt like a 10 or 20, really.
She was evaluated by an orthopedic surgeon.
He also told me that surgery was the only thing that I could do.
Instead, she came to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy, the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures.
I can do everything normally. I train, I spar.
Pain level at a 0?
Yes.
So you recommend it?
Yes, actually, I asked him if it was okay for me to take copies of his pamphlet, so as soon as somebody gets injured, I can just hand them a copy.
So whether it's a hip like I had or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee, whatever it is, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, One day, Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly with nationwide 5G because Cricket is on the AT&T network. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Join the Seattle Sports Commission for a star-studded fundraising event featuring the athletes and icons of Washington sports. Experience red carpet interviews, sports exhibits, a silent auction, and live awards show. Created for the sports community by the sports community, all while supporting the nonprofit power of Seattle sports. Don't miss your chance to be among the stars on March 13th at the 91st Annual Sports Star of the Year presented by Microsoft. Get your tickets now at seattlesports.org.
Don't miss the All Sound Plumbing Mariners Cactus League report. Tuesday nights at 6. Going inside Mariners camp on the home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctor's offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. Great teachers inspire. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, courtesy of WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Teachers are the real MVPs. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
P&D Tree Service, experts in local tree removal. Their team works fast to remove problem trees in your yard and neighborhood. Have you ever seen a tree removed by a crane? P&D Tree Services specializes in close-quarter tree removal to minimize impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service. Any job, big or small. Safe, efficient, and fast. P&D Tree Service turns multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. Enjoy a clean, safe, and bright yard. PNDTreeService.com.
The madness tips off next week, and with it comes your chance to win the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What's going on in the NFC West? What is happening? What is going down? I'll tell you what isn't going on. Hawks have done absolutely nothing. Nothing. We're sitting here waiting for the Hawks to make a move, and they're taking their little time. There must be a method to their madness. But, yeah, we got to wait and see. But so far, the biggest one, not the biggest one, the biggest name, I guess, will be Mike Evans going to the San Francisco 49ers. And they're willing to trade Trent Williams if they cannot restructure his contract. He has a $39 million cap hit. What does Mike Evans bring to the Niners?
He brings some respected skills and just one of the most respected guys in the entire league. He's a future Hall of Famer, and I think the 49ers are in desperate need for somebody like that in their wide receiver room because Brandon Ayuk, I imagine, is not coming back. We've heard John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan say as much this offseason. It looks like Jawan Jennings won't be back. They've recently, last offseason they got rid of Deebo Samuel. Like, there's not a lot of wide receiver talent in San Francisco right now outside of maybe Ricky Pearsall, who, this will be year 3 of his career, and obviously dealing with what he dealt with his rookie season, but then coming back this year banged up as well. But Yeah, the 49ers were in desperate need of wide receiver help. 3 years, $60.4 million for Mike Evans, so just over $20 million average annual value for him. Big addition by the 49ers, but Bump, you mentioned the possibility that San Francisco could move Trent Williams if they're unable to restructure his $39 million cap hit. I think of any move, of any potential departure in the NFC West, and now, I mean, the Seahawks with their two today, Ken Walker and Coby Bryant, one going to the Chiefs, one going to the Bears, those pale in comparison to the kind of impact it would have on San Francisco if they had to move on from Trent Williams, because we've seen that team look completely different with him in the lineup and without him in the lineup. And if you don't have a great left tackle the way he is, like San Francisco might have a really tough time competing to the level that the Rams and the Seahawks are at.
Yeah, it's hard out there to find a really good tackle. Going back to Mike Evans last year, only played in 8 games. Injury bug kind of got him. Year before that, he has 11 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Year before that, 13 touchdowns, 1,200 yards. Year before that, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, this is just what he does. I think he's going to bring a great red zone target for those guys over there with the 49ers. And in that offense, you don't have to be a super fast receiver. Right? The motions, the arrows, the flats, the overs, all that stuff is going to get these guys open. I think that's a good pickup. I think Pearsall could be a good number 2 with number 1 capabilities, right? Because when he played, I want to say against us, he had a couple big catches over here. They still got Sky Moore over there. They got Kendrick Bourne as well. We'll see if anything is moved around. Jacob Cowing, bear down.
That's right.
As a kid a young man who just couldn't quite get healthy. I think when he's healthy, he could be serviceable as well. So 49ers, man, signing Mike Evans and looking to see if they can work something out with Trent Williams. The next move, Tyler Algier. That was a name that we were looking at here in Seattle. He goes to the Cardinals, teams up with James Conner over there. You don't have Kyler Murray.
No.
They're looking. They brought in Jimmy Garoppolo, I believe they brought in.
I think they're looking at him.
Jacoby Brissett is the backup over there as well right now. What do you make of the situation in Arizona?
I mean, that hurts the Seahawks in the fact that they aren't able to add a affordable veteran running back in Tyler Algier. Is going to be making about $6 million per year with the Cardinals. That to me is the biggest impact in terms of this signing. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be competing anytime soon, but you took somebody away from the Seahawks who could have potentially helped in free agency. So that's how I kind of look at that signing. I don't know about you, Bump, but I'm not too worried that that's going to come back to bite the Seahawks. I don't think Algier is going to run for 2,000 yards, but it's just a name that the Seahawks aren't able to turn to when they can fill out their running back room now with the departure of Ken Walker. But, yeah, the Cardinals, I'm not really expecting a whole lot of noise out of them this season.
No. You got to have a quarterback for me to even pay attention. And right now, they don't have one, at least not one that I feel like is a franchise guy or like a legit starter in that league. Jacoby Brissett has bounced around almost every team in the league, it feels like. And he's been serviceable, but not a guy that you have to have an extra meaning for, what Dave Wyman would say. All right, let's go to L.A. You got Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie have signed to the Rams. I think these are the moves that concern me the most. Pass defense was not the greatest over there. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the greatest. And you have to combat JSN. You got to combat the pass game over here. Good move by the Rams. It seems like they have like infinite money though. Like they don't have.
Yeah, I don't know where they get all this because I believe Watson's going to be making about $17 million per. I think it's interesting too that the Rams just went out and added the Chiefs starting corners. They traded for Trent McDuffie and then signed Jalen Watson in free agency. It's like, we'll just take that Super Bowl winners secondary and move it over to here. I think the Rams have had unfortunately, I hate to hand it to them, but they've had a really good start to the offseason. They have addressed their biggest need, and that was secondary play. And all of a sudden now they are neck and neck with the Seahawks. They were already neck and neck with the Seahawks prior to the start of the offseason, but I believe the betting odds have the Rams as now slight favorites in the NFC West. Still plenty of offseason to go, and that's also something to be mindful about here is we're almost 3 hours into the offseason, but like there's still a lot of time between now and the start of training camp. So, it's not like the season is won and lost today. You can do a lot for yourself and do a lot for those opportunities, but you got to be mindful of just kind of what is all still ahead in this offseason.
Yeah, still got some work to do, but it's almost like FOMO. You know, I'm just watching everybody else do stuff, and I'm like, all right, man. All right, when is our turn? When are the Seahawks going to do something? And I would assume that they've had to pivot a couple times so far, because I was assuming that they're taking a look at the top 3 or 4 running backs in free agency. Those guys are gone now. Maybe they're down to their second or third option. Maybe now they're looking towards the draft and saying, okay, we have to hit here. Yeah, they've definitely had to pivot. And I would also assume that they felt like a deal was going to get done with Coby Bryant and the Bears and whatnot. Like they have the inside scoop with all this stuff, right? They get these offers, they put them on the table. You're talking to your personnel, and either you can or you can't. Either you value that player at that number or you don't. So clearly, they weren't going to pay, $14, $15 million a year for K9. They didn't feel like 13 was going to be it was right for them with Coby Bryant. So they let these guys walk. You still got Ty Okada over there at the safety spot, running back. Running backs are gone. You got to hit that draft. You still got a couple running backs out there that you could take a swing at. So we'll see, man. That's what's going on in the NFC West. You got the Rams making a couple moves to get some DBs. The Niners got Mike Evans. They're looking to trade Trent Williams. The money ain't right. They can't restructure. And then you have the Cardinals, who picked up Tyler Algier from the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, when we come back, we'll be joined by ESPN's Brady Henderson. That's next on the Bump Stacy Show.
The Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, ladies and gentlemen.
K9 is gone.
Ian Rappaport, the Chiefs are signing Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker.
Handoff straight ahead goes to Walker. He finds a gap, 40, 35.
3 years, $45 million, the highest paid free agent running back in NFL history.
Tough to see him go, but congrats to him on cashing in like this.
When this team needed you the most, you were at your very best.
A heck of a run by Ken Walker III.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Spring and summer, it's right around the corner. So if you haven't called PCF about getting started on your new deck, well, right now is the time. With a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long. And right now, you can get up to $6,000 off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Save an additional $1,500 when you bundle your deck and patio cover. Some restrictions do apply, but do what we did. Contact PCF for all the details and start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build by the spring. Planning and permits, they can take a little time, so please don't wait. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Do you need a new roof? Then trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing to get you taken care of this spring. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and secure $500 off your roof replacement. Right now, you can still take advantage of spring pricing and beat the summer rush. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Where's everyone going? To get their $15 St. Paddy's Day raffle ticket from Washington's Lottery before they're gone. With a $1 million grand prize and only 250,000 tickets available, you better go get yours today. Game on.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The WBC continues as USA takes on Mexico today at 5 p.m. Mexico has a 3-1 record against the U.S. in the WBC. The Mariners take on the Diamondbacks today. First pitch is at 1:10. Brian Wu is on the mound, and K9 is gone. He's going to sign with the Chiefs for 3 years, $45 million. Kobe's out too. He's to the Bears, 3 years, $40 million.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Lots of moves being made in the NFL today. I'm Michael Bumpus with Curtis Rogers filling in for Stacy. We're joined now by Brady Henderson on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. B, lots of people making moves. Hawks are just chilling. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I mean, so far, we're only, a couple hours into it, 3 hours into it almost. But it's sort of gone how I anticipated. This seemed like a situation where the Seahawks could suffer quite a few hits in free agency in terms of their top guys signing elsewhere. And, I think that it's not really unexpected. And also, you look at the kind of money that some of these guys are getting, you can understand why they let those guys go. Good players who got really good deals elsewhere. And, this has sort of always been the Seahawks' MO, is to not overpay in their eyes for free agents, whether that's their own guys or players from other teams. And, I don't think I don't think winning a Super Bowl is going to change that. I think that's only going to reinforce the kind of approach that they take in terms of making disciplined decisions. So certainly, if it continues at this rate, which I think it will, they're going to have some work to do. But, this is not like, the last dance Chicago Bulls in 97, 98, where you go all in to try to win one more championship. This is still, despite being older in some spots, one of the league's younger rosters. And I think they're still taking a long-term approach to this. And that means, saying goodbye to some good players who get bigger deals than, what you were willing to pay them.
Brady, with the expected losses of Ken Walker and Coby Bryant, people are obviously kind of discouraged at the start of the Seahawks offseason. But When you look at their remaining unrestricted free agents, who do you think has the best shot at getting a deal from Seattle?
I think it's Josh Jobe, and I tweeted this out this morning that, of their top 6 free agents, meaning, Coby Bryant, Ken Walker III, Josh Jobe, Rick Woolen, Boye Mafe, Rashid Shaheed, of those 6 guys, I have thought that Jobe is the likeliest of that group to re-sign, and I think there's a chance that he might be the only guy of those 6 that re-signs. I just think he is their kind of player, self-made guy who just is a really good cover guy who tackles and is, despite having some of the best coverage numbers of any cornerback last year, just from what I've gathered from talking to, different agency type people, not necessarily going to break the bank. Kind of the number I've heard generally is around $10 million, which, for a guy like that, I think that would be entirely reasonable, especially when you compare it to the kind of deal that, someone like Rick Woolen is projected to get, which, I've heard north of $15 million. So Jobe is, like I said, I think he's the guy who I think has the best chance of those 6 to re-sign with Seattle.
We've heard a scenario where Boye Mafe is gone and Uchenna Nwosu is gone. If that happens, what's the edge rusher market look like? I'm hearing it's pretty good, and also the draft has a bunch of them as well.
Well, not to be the bearer of bad news, but I think you've also got to wonder about DeMarcus Lawrence and, whether he might retire. I think that from what I understand, there's still some uncertainty about that. I think one way or another, they're going to have to add an edge guy in this group because, I would anticipate Mafe signing elsewhere. I think kind of like with Woolen, the writing has been on the wall there. I mean, they were open to trading Mafe at the deadline last year, and Adam Schefter reported that they had a deal in place with Kansas City that obviously did not go through. So I think they're going to have to sign an edge guy. And, my guy Rob Staten has made this point that, if Lawrence leaves, you can't just replace DeMarcus Lawrence, a veteran leader like that. You can't necessarily replace him with a draft pick. So I would anticipate them signing an edge guy, kind of one of those, lower, maybe middle tier deals. I can't really give you a great name. I would just be making up names right now if I gave you anybody to keep an eye on because I don't know who they're eyeing. But I would anticipate them, kind of doubling up on edge guys, maybe a veteran with a draft pick, maybe an early round draft pick.
Brady, Ken Walker off to Kansas City, setting a new record for a contract made by a running back in unrestricted free agency. When you look at the Seahawks and their plan at running back, obviously you can't bank on Zach Charbonnet being ready by the start of the season, and we saw Travis Etienne come off the board, Tyler Algier come off the board. Do you think they dabble in free agency, pick up a veteran running back, or is that a position you think they look at in the draft?
I think you do both because, Charbonnet is probably not going to be ready until the second half of the season at the earliest. That's just my guess based on the timing of it. It wasn't until February when he had surgery. So just the typical timetable suggests, he's going to miss most, a good chunk, if not most of next season. So I think, look, they obviously only have 4 draft picks, and I don't think they would want to rely on 2 rookies. So I think the sensible plan would be to sign a lower cost veteran and then draft a guy. Rico Dowdle is out there in free agency. He's one of the guys who has not signed. Kenneth Gainwell was a guy I wondered about, but he has signed elsewhere or agreed to sign elsewhere. So he's off the board. And then I would not forget about George Holani being involved in that mix, maybe as the number 3 guy next year. He finished the playoffs pretty well as the number 2 guy. And so I would not forget about him. But I would anticipate this is a situation where, you probably sign a lower cost guy and then spend a draft pick on another guy to fill out that backfield.
Yeah, it's it happened quickly. There are 4 backs, top 4 that we're looking at, and boom, they're off the board pretty fast. So I'm looking at Kenny McIntosh honestly because I think he can help. I think him and George could help. But I want another guy in the draft as well. Are there any other positions that you look at with this team and you feel like the Hawks have to address it?
I mean, we'll see what they do at guard. I mean, it's obviously not their MO to overpay for a guard. I think that's a spot where, maybe they will look to upgrade. But again, you're not talking about a top of the market or even probably a middle market deal. It's, maybe a veteran guy to come in and compete with Anthony Bradford. And just one more point on Walker. I mean, I sort of tried to make this point in writing a week or so ago, but, when you consider that, Ken Walker III was at his best last season in a time-sharing role. And if he was going to be back with the Seahawks, they would have preferred to keep him in a similar role. And so there was no way they were going to, make him, a top 5 paid guy like the Chiefs are at, $14.35 million, I think it is. That makes him the 4th highest paid running back in the NFL, I believe. Or he's 3rd or 4th, something like that. I think he's 4th. And there's just no way the Seahawks were going to pay that kind of money for a guy that, they would want to continue to share reps with. And so in terms of other positions, I mean, we'll see what happens with Rashid Shaheed. The report from Adam Schefter last week did not sound promising. I still wouldn't rule it out, but that did not sound promising. And so I think, whatever the Seahawks do, at wide receiver / kick returner, assuming they lose Shaheed, I think that's going to depend a lot on how much they feel like they can count on Torrey Horton staying healthy last season. It sounded like, from what Mike McDonald said at the Combine, he said he got fixed up and that he won't do anything this spring. So, the injury situation, just the durability question with Horton, I think is a legitimate one. And but that said, if Rashid Shaheed's market gets, easily, north of $15 million, I still think they're going to kind of take the same approach as they're taking with their other free agents, which is that they're going to be disciplined and not make a short-sighted decision, even though they, gave up a couple draft picks to get him. I don't think it's Rashid Shaheed or bust, and I don't think that's the case with any of the free agents.
Brady, there have been questions about whether or not DeMarcus Lawrence will retire after this. Getting that Super Bowl ring was a big deal to him, obviously making a lot of comments in the offseason about his opportunity to win one here in Seattle. He gets that ring. Is there any kind of timetable on the Seahawks wanting a decision from him, or is that something they're just kind of play out as the offseason unfolds?
Well, I'm sure they would have wanted a decision by, last week or so, with giving them plenty of time to kind of get their ducks in order ahead of free agency. But I don't get the sense that there has been any definitive, decision as of yet. And just to kind of reiterate what I've said on that is he flirted with retirement last offseason. And then, he won the Super Bowl, the only Super Bowl in his 12-year career. And the other thing people have to keep in mind here is that, his wife just gave birth to, he has a blended family, and I think that was their 6th child, and that was right after the Super Bowl. So, there's kind of a lot of factors there. And, it sounds like I sort of get the sense that he is still weighing that. And so that's just kind of a look at the factors that are at play there with DeMarcus Lawrence. But, yeah, I don't get the sense that any definitive decision has been made on that quite yet.
Hey, when you look at the division so far, like you mentioned, it's a couple hours in. Who do you feel like is making the most progress?
In terms of teams?
Yes.
I can tell you who's been active. There's been some teams that have been really active, but, it's worth reminding people of this every year is that the teams that are the most active and spend the most money in March, that there's not necessarily a correlation between winning, because when you pay guys, on the first day of the negotiating window, these are usually like upper market deals, and these are the same guys that are getting cut. Like this time 2 years from now, a lot of these guys that you're seeing sign for big money, these are the guys you're going to be seeing getting cut because the production just did not justify the kind of money they were making. And that's just the gamble that you make when you sign guys to big deals early in free agency. So, plenty of teams have been active. The Bears, who agreed to sign Coby Bryant, have been active. The Jets. But I can't sit here and tell you that those teams are going to be that much better off for it. It just means that they're taking the gambles that other teams aren't necessarily willing to make.
Brady, it kind of seemed like once the season ended that that was going to be it for Riq Woolen in a Seahawks uniform. Thank you for all you've done in your years here, but we just don't have the space to match a contract offer for you. But when you look at Coby Bryant and him leaving for Chicago, Ken Walker leaving for Kansas City, do you think the Seahawks have space to bring Riq Woolen back, or do you think that ship has sailed?
I think they've got space to bring any of their free agents back. I mean, they had space to bring Ken Walker, the third back, but it's not, being able to afford it and being willing to pay the kind of money that it takes are two different things. And I just think, with Woolen, I think, like I mentioned, Jobe, I think is the likeliest of that group to re-sign with the Seahawks. I think Woolen is the likeliest to move on. And I just think the writing has been on the wall there for a while. A brief benching, kind of demotion to the number 3 cornerback. They were open to trading him at the deadline last year. I just don't think he's a guy that they would trust with, to deliver at the kind of price point that it's going to take to re-sign him. I mean, he's got enough really good football on his resume, and I do think he bounced back really well from that rough finish to the opener, and for the most part had a pretty good season. But he's going to, between that and the physical traits, he's going to get a deal for a lot of money. And I just don't think the Seahawks, I don't get the sense, and I have not gotten the sense for a while, that they trust him enough to really justify that kind of payday.
What are we going to learn about John Schneider and Mike McDonald this offseason?
Well, I think we are going to, maybe in some sense, it's going to be not really learning something, but kind of reinforcing the idea that, they are a team that really stays disciplined in March and does not, give in to pressure. And like I said, if that's been your MO, and then you win a Super Bowl by sticking to that MO, I don't see why you would depart from that. If ever there was an off season, or ever there was a time where their approach would be validated, it's a time like this. And so, but that said, with suffering the kind of losses that they already have, and I think will continue to suffer, I mean, they are going to have to replace a lot of guys. And but again, they're going to spend some money. It's not like they're just going to sit on, $60+ million in cap space all offseason. They're going to spend money. They're just going to spend it on guys that they think represent maybe better values and maybe even better fits for, the system they're running, including, the new offense under Brian Fleury. So that's my long-winded way of telling fans, relax, take a deep breath. You're going to continue to see Seahawks sign elsewhere, but it is March 9th right now, and they don't play games for another, whatever it is. I can't do math like that on the fly. 7 months, whatever it is. So everybody take a deep breath, and it's going to be okay.
Well, thank you for that, Brady. Thank you for that. I believe it's actually 6 months from tomorrow.
Yeah, I just counted on my fingers.
Brady, last one from me, the Trent McDuffie extension that got done over the weekend, $31 million average annual value headed his way. Do you think Devin Witherspoon beats that in his extension talks?
Gosh, I would think there's a good chance of that. Yeah, when you talk about a guy who has made the Pro Bowl in each of his first 3 seasons, maybe a little different. I think McDuffie I want to say he was a year. He was a first-round pick in 2022, I believe. So maybe not quite apples to apples because he has played 4 seasons, whereas Witherspoon has only played 3. But a guy with his resume, yeah, that would not surprise me if that happens.
All right, he is ESPN's insider. He's ESPN's everything, man. He's our guy, Brady Henderson, man. We appreciate you, dog.
Thanks, Brady.
All right, you got it. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.
All righty. He's on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
The Ravens acquired Maxx Crosby from the Raiders for 2 first-round picks. What's the real headline?
Real headline, the chances of getting Max in Seattle were always minimal.
Yeah, they were. We can dream, though, can't we?
Sure.
They had 2 first-round picks. They really wanted to give it up. But you got 4 picks this year. I assume that John is probably going to trade back and try to get some more of these things. We don't want a repeat of what was that, 2021? We had 3 or 4 picks.
That was 21.
21, yeah. That was a rough year.
That was kind of the line of demarcation with the Seahawks and just kind of bad draft after bad draft where they had the 3 picks. They ended up with what? D. Eskridge, Trey Brown, and Stone Forsythe.
Yep.
And then the following year in 22 was the class that gave us Ken Walker and Coby Bryant and Boye Mafe, and it goes Reek Woolen. It goes down as one of the best draft classes in franchise history. And really ever since then, 23, you had Witherspoon and JSN. 24, you had I'm blanking on 24, but 25 you had Gray Zabel. Like, you've had really good draft classes year in and year out. 24 was Byron Murphy.
Yeah.
So you've had really good picks early on in the draft every single year since that 21 draft. But I think this year, Bump, 4 picks. I don't think that's enough to get this roster back to where it was at the end of the Super Bowl. I would imagine they trade pick 32, come away with an early second rounder, and maybe get like a 3rd or a 4th somewhere along the way.
Yeah, that's probably the move right there. And then we'll wait and see what they do in free agency right now, right?
Yeah.
And I think that will help us kind of figure out which direction they're going to go. So, yeah, we just started the marathon. It feels like a sprint for some teams because guys are just are getting picked up quickly. But in John, we trust.
Headline rewrites.
The Dolphins are cutting Tua Tagovailoa, and the Falcons are reportedly interested in bringing him in. What's the real headline?
Real headline, I'm sorry, but I thought it was Tua who had the concussion problem.
Yeah. It's Matt now.
It's Matt Ryan in Atlanta because, I don't know, 2 lefties. Your future is Michael Penix, or at least we thought it was, but now you bring in Tua because I don't think they have confidence that Penix will be ready to go by the start of the season, but Tua doesn't really elevate people in the league, and that is a bad spot to be in, a team that really just has no decision made at quarterback and really kind of no line in the sand where it's like, we are this kind of team. Like, we are this team going forward. They're just kind of rudderless right now.
And meanwhile, they got a really good running back in Robinson, really good receiver in Drake London, tight end / receiver in Kyle Pitts.
Can't figure it out, though.
Yeah, there's pieces over there to work with, but I think what we're seeing is how important the quarterback position is. And, I feel bad for Penix. I think maybe with a full offseason as the guy, he could have come in and been a lot better this year. But you know how the game goes. You get banged up. You got to bring somebody else in. Tua's interesting. I don't think I would have went that route. I'm a firm believer that Tua needs to sit a year, get his mind right, collect his thoughts, just learn how to lead again because I didn't like the way,
his brain,
I didn't like the way he was kind of doing things over there in Miami, man. He kind of messed that locker room up. Well, but hey, to each his own. Do your own thing.
Yeah, it's I guess it's probably easier to stick around in the NFL, not taking a year off and not having that rust, but I don't see it from Tua anymore. I don't see it from the Falcons right now. It's gonna be an uphill climb for everybody.
Headline rewrites.
Team USA is undefeated in the World Baseball Classic after blowout wins over Brazil and Great Britain. They'll face Mexico today at 5. What's the real headline?
Real headline, the Mariners might have the biggest influence on this game, and that's a good spot to be in.
They got some names out there for them, Curtis.
Cal, Randy, Munoz, Gabe Spire. They will have an influence on this game, which previous World Baseball Classics you could not say about the Mariners. This one you can very much say definitively. They will have an impact in this one.
Yeah, you can. It was them and someone else tied with the most players in the WBC.
The Mets.
Yeah, the
maybe
Mets.
The Dodgers. Yeah.
Hey, that international program is working. They're doing their thing. That should be a fun one tonight. I was surprised to see that Mexico has the lead when it comes to games played in the WBC. 3-1. This one feels a bit different.
Yeah.
This one does feel a bit different, man. It feels like the players and fans are more bought into this one than any of these previous tournaments.
I believe Mexico did beat Team USA in the 2023 World Baseball Classic in group play. That game was played in Phoenix. Tonight's game's in Houston, so I imagine that's going to be a really raucous crowd.
It'd be a heavy Mexico crowd,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite the scene in Houston. I gotta say, I don't like games being played in Houston. Games of any magnitude being played there. That ballpark's a joke. But put in a real stadium. Not that not what it used to be Minute Maid. Now I think it's like Dyken Park. Like I don't want it anywhere near Houston. Put it in a real ballpark, please.
What is it, left field? That's a joke?
Yeah. Harry Ford's home run for Great Britain, he hit that one out. I think it had an exit velocity of like 95 miles an hour.
Oh, snaps.
Just barely
clipped it.
Tink, and then flies on out. Yeah.
We call that the Mickey Mouse Parks?
Mickey
Mouse
it's like a pinball
Parks.
machine out there.
Yeah, it is. All right, well, we'll see if they can get her done tonight. You got Mexico taking on the US of A. That's going to start at 5 p.m. You mentioned the names. You got Munoz out there, Rosarena. You got Spire. You got Cal. Mariners representing. Mariners are representing to the fullest. Let me see Cal go yard. Has he gone yard yet?
Not yet.
Not yet? All right, let's see Cal go yard.
Yeah, let's do it.
What'd you say? Cal and Andre Munoz would be perfect in that thing.
Yeah, you could see that matchup in tonight's game potentially.
Yeah. All right, Cal.
That's all I want.
He knows the stuff, so we'll see. All right, man, we got lots more to do when we come back. We're going to get to NFL headlines. You got wide receivers getting paid. Pierce is getting paid as well. He's going to stay with the Colts. You got Travis Kelce. Is he going to be back? Is he not? Sounds like he's going to stay. They got the Rams making moves as well. The Dolphins are making moves. It's going down. Free agency is real. That's coming up next on the Bump Stacy Show. We got Curtis Rogers filling in for Stacy.
The Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, ladies and gentlemen.
K9 is gone.
Ian Rappaport, the Chiefs are signing Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker.
Handoff straight ahead goes to Walker. He finds a gap, 40, 35.
3 years, $45 million, the highest paid free agent running back in NFL history.
Tough to see him go, but congrats to him on cashing in like this.
When this team needed you the most, you were at your very best.
A heck of a run by Ken Walker III.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Hey, Mike Salk here with Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. And Doc, what do you say to people who are considering those GLP-1 injections for weight loss?
Before you start, ask yourself this. Are you prepared to spend $3,000 to $5,000 per year and stay on the medications long-term to maintain the results? Many prescription weight loss injections require weekly shots, and when the medication is stopped, weight gain is common. And most people don't realize research shows a significant portion of the weight lost can come from muscle, which may slow your metabolism and make keeping the weight off even harder.
From personal experience, I can tell you Eastside Weight Loss Clinic takes a different approach, a doctor-developed program helping people lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days.
No injections, no synthetic hormones, no long-term dependence. Instead, we use real food to reset your metabolism, control hunger, and cravings naturally.
So come to their clinic in Kirkland or do the program from anywhere you live with easy remote options. If you want a safe, affordable alternative to weight loss injections,
go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com to keep the weight off for good.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Trust is everything. Earning it takes years. Losing it takes 5 seconds.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom! That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from,
we can be twinsies,
to,
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC. Don't miss Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be two. JP has it. Goes to the bag. Steps on second. Fires to first. Double play.
Broadcast times at seattlesports.com.
Great decisions start with knowing your options. Lake Washington windows and doors are built to perform. Their windows are 25% more efficient than Energy Star standards, cut noise up to 50%, and are designed with low-maintenance clean glass technology. While most window frames are hollow, theirs feature Comfort Core insulation for superior energy efficiency. Find your pot of gold with up to 20% in savings and 12-month financing with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. A name you can trust.
The madness tips off next week, and with it comes your chance to win the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Hey, Brock Ewert here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Spring, well, it's the perfect time to start planning your dream deck. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get you started with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. What does it mean? Well, it means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. Most people who start with a design package end up with the outdoor space they've always dreamed of. And this offer is your first step. Don't wait until summer and wish you had started the process sooner. Start it now. Do what Molly and I did some years ago. Contact PCF Construction Group today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at pcfgroup.com. Go see my friends at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with people come first.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bump Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right. This is the Bump Stacy Show. We got NFL headlines. We're going to start with some good news for the Seahawks. They have signed Josh Jobe, so they made a move. What does this say to you about Rick Woolen?
I think Josh Jobe is their move at corner. I don't think Rick Woolen is back with the Seahawks. But, yeah, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reporting that Josh Jobe is heading back to the Seahawks. His contract details 3 years, $24 million, so $8 million per. That, I think, comes in at a lower number than a lot of people had expected Jobe to sign for, especially seeing some of the other cornerbacks cornerbacks of Jobe's caliber sign for around $10 million average annual value. The Seahawks getting Josh Jobe back for 3 years and $24 million. Everybody calm down, okay? Everybody calm down. They get one back. Josh Jobe is a Seattle Seahawk for the next 3 seasons.
Josh Jobe staying in Seattle. 3 years, $24 million. I like that deal. I think he deserves it. I think that's right on par with what he should be getting paid. Josh Jobe was a starting corner for the majority of the season. They set Rick Woolen down for this young man. I've talked to people around the league when it comes to him. He is the strongest DB they said they played against, and he's technically sound. Josh Jobe remains a Seahawk. Great news for 12s out there. Okay, let's go around the league. You got wide receiver Alec Pierce is returning to the Colts. 4 years, $114 million. That's about what? Over 25 a year for that guy.
Yeah, that was everybody's kind of thinking he could get about $30 million in the open market, but he never does get to the open market. He talked a lot, too, about how he wanted to enter free agency, but gets about $27-28 million per. Colts lock him up. I think that's a good move for them. The Colts also traded Michael Pittman to the Steelers today, so they're making it known, Alec Pierce, you're our number one guy. That's who we're rolling with. They don't have anybody to throw to him right now, though.
Not yet.
Daniel Jones did sign the transition tag, but who knows if they're going to hammer out a long-term extension.
Well, let's talk about Daniel Jones. All right, he wants some. They offered him a deal, the Colts, around Sam Darnold's comp, right?
Okay.
But he goes, nah, I'm on $50 million per year.
Really?
Once, I was surprised when he got that $40 million per year with the Giants, did have a good season, took him to the playoffs. This year, started off the season great. Then obviously gets banged up, has to sit for a while. But he knows he's looking at Anthony Richardson, who is out there in the market looking for a trade. And he knows, look, man, I'm all you got. So I need to be paid, not like the top-tier quarterback, but right underneath the top. Back in the league, which is something. Daniel
Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, ladies and gentlemen.
K9 is gone.
Ian Rappaport, the Chiefs are signing Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker.
Handoff straight ahead goes to Walker. He finds a gap, 40, 35.
3 years, $45 million, the highest paid free agent running back in NFL history.
Tough to see him go, but congrats to him on cashing in like this.
When this team needed you the most, you were at your very best.
A heck of a run by Ken Walker III.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. We now have over 500 five-star online reviews. Bradley Johnson helped me out of a very difficult situation. Their professionalism and knowledge resulted in an outcome I wouldn't have thought possible. They were steady and reassuring, taking time to explain things clearly. They never rushed me, even when I had a million questions. In the end, they found a resolution I'm grateful for. They were a pleasure to work with. I was impressed with their knowledge and skill, ultimately winning my case. 10 out of 10. I would highly recommend. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or Google us to schedule your free private consultation. 5 stars means achieving your best possible outcome. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY. Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Join the Seattle Sports Commission for a star-studded fundraising event featuring the athletes and icons of Washington sports. Experience red carpet interviews, sports exhibits, a silent auction, and live awards show. Created for the sports community by the sports community, all while supporting the nonprofit power of Seattle sports. Don't miss your chance to be among the stars on March 13th at the 91st Annual Sports Star of the Year presented by Microsoft. Get your tickets now at seattlesports.org.
Get broadcast times for every Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League broadcast.
Holy smokes, he does it again!
At seattlesports.com.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Shopping for a new Mazda? Shop the West Coast's largest Mazda dealer, Mazda of Everett. With more new Mazdas in stock than any dealer in the region. Shop over 780 new Mazdas. Click on the Mazda of Everett price. At Mazda of Everett, exceptional customer satisfaction is the standard. Plus, at Mazda of Everett, you negotiate directly with the owner. Locally owned, trusted by thousands. Shop MazdaofEverett.com and see why we're #1.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? But do you have a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it your own home gym? Hey, Brock Heward here, and working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years. And you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. Simply give them your room dimensions, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It's no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. They also have everything from flooring to weights that go in a home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months, plus mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here to get you in the best shape, so go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Curtis and I were just sitting around waiting for the Hawks to make a move, watching everyone else have fun at the free agency party. And they finally made a move. Josh Jobe, re-signed Josh Jobe. 8 years, $24 million.
3 years.
8 years. Woo! That'd be a heck of a contract. Yeah. 3 years, $24 million, 8 per year.
There you go.
Is what I was getting at. And, needed to be done. Josh Jobe took over for Rick Woolen. When they did go like a heavier DB package, then Rick Woolen would be in there. Josh Jobe, one of the more technical DBs out there, a strong DB, nice come up. Went to Alabama, got him from the Eagles.
Yeah.
Didn't know who he was until he got here, and slowly but surely he worked himself in the rotation.
That is what you call player development, is getting a guy on waivers in just a year ago in 2024, and then you build him up, and then all of a sudden he becomes a starting quarterback in your system, starting cornerback of a Super Bowl winner. Tremendous come up for Josh Jobe from where he was in his career prior to the 2025 season to where he ended up at the end of the year and ended up today on the receiving end of just an incredible payday for him. And let's not forget, this is not the only re-signing the Seahawks have done. They ended last week with the Drake Thomas re-signing, 2 years, I believe, $8 million for him. So this is he's not the only guy that the Seahawks have brought back in free agency here, but definitely one I think that when you look at just order of importance of guys, he's up near the top of the list of guys that they could have brought back this offseason. But Bump, one thing that really stuck out to me about Josh Jobe in his time here in Seattle so far, because it's not over, it's extended by 3 years, is whenever Mike McDonald is asked about Josh Jobe, he speaks as though Josh Jobe is his own son. He loves Josh Jobe so much, and everything that Jobe does and how technically sound he is, and just you just set him and forget him. You don't have to worry about him at all. Like, he is a guy that you can tell is really respected by this coaching staff.
It's all about trust in this league. I've seen guys who are extremely talented, but the coaches couldn't trust that they're going to do the right thing, use the right technique, be where you're supposed to be, and Josh Jobe has done exactly that. So, yeah, when you hear Coach McDonald talk about him, you feel the love, right? You feel how important he is for this team, man. And I remember at one point thinking, man, why is Josh Jobe getting so much time to where's Josh Jobe? Get him back in that game. You know, he kind of transformed the way that I saw him, and that was just because I didn't know much about him. But, this is a big signing, man. You got Jobe on one side. You're hoping to get something done with Witherspoon. You got to replace a safety or use Ty Okada. This defense is going to look different. We knew that this team would look different. We knew this defense would look different. There's something that happens when you win a Super Bowl. Guys get paid. Even if you feel like they're overpaid. Well, they're probably overpaid to us because we got them when they were young, when they were just pups.
Mm-hmm.
And like a guy like Coby Bryant, that's just what he's worth in the market right now. You might not think it, but he was probably the most sought-after safety in the game right now. But you have to adjust to what your team needs and what your cap is able to do. I'm just happy they brought Joe back.
Yeah, you bring up Coby Bryant, what he is going to make from the Chicago Bears, about $13 million per. And people kind of look at that and scoff a little bit and like, really? Coby Bryant? He's a really great safety, very important to what the Seahawks defense did. But I think as soon as Cam Curl signed that deal with the Rams, that kind of set the floor for what Coby Bryant was looking for and ended up exceeding that. And the Bears are in a spot where they're chasing the Seahawks. And what do you do to chase a team in your own conference? Why not take somebody away from them, weaken them a little bit while you can strengthen yourself? Getting back to Mike Macdonald and just his love for Josh Jobe, this soundbite came from the week leading up to the Super Bowl and just speaking so glowingly of what Josh Jobe has brought to the Seahawks.
It's a great example of how we the pride that we take and how we run our program. Where when you come in, if you play great football and you're a great teammate, you're going to get an opportunity to play. And Josh was someone that we acquired at the beginning of last year. Shout out to our personnel staff for IDing those type of traits and that type of personality. And the guy just came in and made a ton of plays on our ready squad. And I remember our veteran receivers saying, hey, like, this guy's pretty dang good. He kept making plays. And when there was an opportunity for him to get on the field, we felt really confident for him to go out there and do his job. And he just kept hitting it. Those daily inputs, man, it's powerful when you stack those things. So here he is. He should be really proud of himself.
Yeah, and then Macdonald earlier in the season also talking about how competitive Josh Jobe is.
Super high. You start to go, like, the longer you're around the game, you figure out, some things that are kind of like really important to certain positions. And if to play corner, especially in our defense, because we try to press so much, you got to be a great competitor, man. And he is. I mean, the guy, he loves to press, and he's really good at it. So more ways we can get him to go up there and do his thing, the better.
Bump, what is the most impressive thing about Jobe's game to you?
His physicality. I'm not sure how big he is. I don't think he's very big. But if you walk down to that line of scrimmage and you love to press, you better be strong or you better be big. And as a receiver, what that does, it just messes up our whole flow when it comes to things. He's 5'11", $190.
Wow, so not a big guy.
No, not big at all. So, one, you got to be strong. You got to believe in your technique. And coaches have to allow you to do it. Coaches ain't just going to let you press, all right, because they know you're going to get beat. But, no, he's a guy who's where he's supposed to be. I remember the first few games I saw him, he missed a couple tackles, but he cleaned that up. Everyone was missing tackles a couple years ago, man. It was crazy. But he cleaned that up as well. So, no, I think it's a great signing. Someone says on the text lines that, oh, my gosh, Joe for $8 million per year, he's not better than that guy Woolen. I would disagree. I would say physically Woolen has more to offer. He's faster, he's taller, arms are longer, legs are longer. But there's a reason why Josh Jobe was playing over Rick Woolen.
Yeah.
He understood the system, he did what he was supposed to do, and he hardly gave up the big play. And
now you know who your starting corners are going to be heading into the 2026 season. And, I mean, look, if you've got more guys like that the coaching staff is going to speak to in that way that Macdonald has talked about Josh Jobe in the past, like, I think that's a really good thing to have around. And you just want to have guys that you can have confidence in. And he's a guy that I never had a single concern about him when he was in the starting lineup this year. That was not a guy who we were coming in on Monday being like, don't go Josh Jobe's way. Like, please don't go Josh Jobe's way. No, he was somebody that was always there and always available, and love to see him get rewarded with this nice contract.
Josh Jobe, get your money, man. 3 years, $8 million per year. Congratulations, sir. Okay, when we come back, we'll catch up with everything that's been going on around the NFL. Free agency is officially open and tampering begins. That's coming up next on the Bump Stacy Show. We got Curtis Rogers filling in.
all week long. Wyman and Bob are broadcasting live from Mariners spring training in Peoria, Arizona. Every afternoon starting at 2.
I cannot wait to get down there.
The expectations.
Based on what we saw last year, what they've done in the offseason, that's not kooky talk, Dave.
No, it's not.
Your favorite Mariners.
If you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations.
Wyman and Bob live at Mariners spring training all week long on the home of your AL West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Got a Tesla, EV, or hybrid that needs repairs or maintenance? Take it to the experts at A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue, the new dealer alternative for your EV or hybrid. Visit A&M Auto Repair at myevpros.com or call 425-96-EV-FIX.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
It's funny how you get used to things in not-so-ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The WBC continues as the U.S. takes on Mexico today at 5 p.m. Mexico has a 3-1 record against the U.S. in the WBC. The Mariners and the Diamondbacks play today. First pitch is at 1:10. Brian Wu is on the mound. All right, we got some contract updates for you. All right, K9 is gone. He signs a deal with the Chiefs, 3 years, $45 million. Coby Bryant is gone. He's with the Bears, 3 years, $40 million. But Josh Jobe is back, 3 years, $24 million. He's a Seahawk.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Here we go, baby. We are off. We are off. We're off to the races when it comes to NFL free agency. Guys are making moves. So before I tell you what has been done, let's talk about who is out there still. All right? So according to ESPN, Trey Hendrickson is the best available target out there, right? After that, you got Rasheed Walker, offensive tackle. You got Odafe Oweh. He's edge. You got Brandon Smith, tackle. Got Quay Walker, linebacker. Reek Wallen comes in at number 6 at a corner spot. Devin Lloyd, backer out of Jacksonville, is available. You got Kyler Murray, you have Romeo Doubs, and you have Rashid Shaheed. 2 Seahawks on that list, Curtis. Is there anybody who intrigues you?
Well, we talked about it a little bit to end last week, but Trey Hendrickson to me is somebody that I would definitely still have interest in, even though he's coming off of core muscle surgery. He is 31 years old, so he would kind of be around the same age that DeMarcus Lawrence and Leonard Williams already are. So you're not getting younger on the defensive line, but you're adding a proven veteran. You're adding a guy that has played some big games in his career, obviously with the Bengals doing what they've done over the last 6 or 7 years, has played in a Super Bowl, even played for the Saints even prior to that when they were really good at the end of Drew Brees' career in New Orleans. That to me is somebody who I'd be very interested in seeing if the Seahawks do anything on that front, especially because you can never have enough pass rush help. And if you're going to lose Boye Mafe, I mean, that's a quick fix to me. The names that I'm surprised we haven't heard today, especially the ones from Seattle, I am really surprised we have not seen Rashid Shaheed's name get mentioned once today in any kind of rumor. Now, I'm not saying that increases the likelihood that he's back here in Seattle, but I am surprised that we have had to wait this long for him to announce a deal, assuming that it's with the Raiders. I think that kind of is what everybody's anticipating with Shaheed because of his closeness to Clint Kubiak. But, Bump, are you surprised at all that Shaheed has yet to sign, even though his name has been in rumors now for a few days?
I am, and I'm not at the same time. It's weird because we know what he can do with the football in his hand. The best returner in the game right now. But that's mainly what you're getting is a returner. With a returner with a deep ball threat at the wide receiver spot. I mean, you look at even a guy like Romeo Doubs, probably not as fast as Rashid Shaheed. Isn't going to do anything in the run game, but he can run a full route tree. And I think with Rashid Shaheed, that has to be a talking point when his agent is negotiating with these teams and are having these conversations. He's trying to pump him up as a number 1 returner, which he is, and maybe a number 1 or number 2 wideout, which I think he can be. He has to sharpen up on some things. But, yeah, I am, because you can't teach speed. Speed is God-given. You can work on that form. You get a little stronger. But if you're not running by somebody by the time you're 8 years old, you're probably not going to run by many people at all. That's just how speed works. So, yeah, I am a bit surprised that he hasn't been in the mix. Some other news that's been going down. You got the Commanders re-signing Marcus Mariota. Marcus, stay with a job, man. Good job for you, Marcus.
Yeah, good for him. And also, I think that also kind of speaks to Jaden Daniels and, like, is he going to be making it through a season completely healthy? So I think that's – you always got to have a competent backup, and Marcus Mariota is a backup that can win you a game or two along the way.
Yeah, for sure. You got J.K. Dobbins. He's headed back to the Broncos. That was a running back that I think the Hawks probably – kick the tires on a bit, trying to see what's going on over there. What else we got floating around, man? You got...
Well, you know how last week we had Greg Rosenthal on the show and his top 101 free agent list. He has released an updated one, and he's keeping it updated as guys fly off the board here. But Kyler Murray he had as number 4 in an updated list of best available free agents. And I'm a little interested in wondering where he lands, especially because now with Atlanta signing Tua, I think that takes them out of the running for Kyler Murray. I think that would be a spot I'd be very surprised to see Kyler Murray go to, especially now that you've got Penix, you've got Tua in Atlanta, or at least it appears as though he's on his way to Atlanta. But if you're Kyler, is it Minnesota or bust at this point, or is there another landing spot for him that you think could make a little bit of sense?
It's got to be Minnesota or bust. I mean, everywhere else I'm looking at, you could go to the Jets. I don't think you want that smoke, though. I don't think you want that. Every other franchise I'm looking at has their guy, right? Atlanta was out there for a while. Sounds like Tua's going to be their guy over there. The Dolphins were. Sounds like Malik Willis is going to be their guy. It's really out of Minnesota and the New York Jets at this point. And if I'm him, I'm knocking on Minnesota's door. I'm sending emails. I'm hitting them up on Twitter, on Instagram. Take me, because that team is ready to win ball games now.
They are. And if Kyler Murray ends up in Minnesota, I wonder, do they keep J.J. McCarthy as a backup, or do they look to move McCarthy to a team that is just looking to take a flyer on a young quarterback heading into year 3? That was a former first-round pick. We know when you carry that label of former first-round pick, it kind of gives you new life in the NFL, where teams are like, wow, I mean, if one team saw it within him, then maybe another team can see the potential with J.J. McCarthy there. But, yeah, Kyler Murray, it's weird because it's not like – I mean, yes, it was performance-based a little bit, his benching, but he also got hurt too. And I think just kind of fell out of favor with Jonathan Gannon and his staff in Arizona. But, like, I would say Kyler Murray is an even better option than Jacoby Brissett in Arizona. That to me was maybe the most surprising thing about the release is that, or just the decision to bench him midseason, is that really you think Jacoby Brissett gives you a better opportunity to win than Kyler Murray does? I get that Murray's banged up. I get all that comes with having him as your starting quarterback, but I don't know. It feels to me like there is going to be a second chapter to Kyler Murray's career. Maybe not ending up in any sort of like Super Bowl or anything like that, but I think he still has years as a starting quarterback left.
I think clearly Kyler Murray is better than Jacoby Brissett, but because Jacoby Brissett is not as talented as Kyler Murray, he would let the football go. Kyler would just hold on to it. And maybe that's because he couldn't see from behind the offensive line. Obviously, Brissett is a bigger fella than him. There's a few things going on with that deal over there. I'm looking at these edge rushers, and I'm saying, all right, who's going to be the guy that the Hawks, take a stab at, right? I mean, you got some older names who are available. I believe Joey Bosa is still available. Bradley Chubb is available. He's 30 years of age. You have AJ. I wanted JJ Epinesa was a couple years ago when he was free. You got Hassan Reddick, who's 31. Cameron Jordan is an old head, 37. Malcolm Van Noy. There are some names out there, but I wonder if they decide to go young at this position. If they're saying, you know what, forget the top 10 guys at this position. Let's find a diamond in the rough, or let's go to this draft and help the edges. Or what if they do re-sign Mafe? What if they do re-sign Uchenna and just bring these guys back?
There is a very real possibility that could happen. I mean, you look at what Boye Mafe could potentially get in free agency, that would be a number that I might balk at. Here was Greg Rosenthal on with us on Friday's show talking about what he thinks Mafe could get in free agency.
I think they like him a lot. I know the sack production wasn't there this year, but he's someone that really pops on tape as a player that's probably better than his production, and he's had better years in terms of sacks. And that's why I kind of mentioned the Nwosu move, because it wouldn't totally shock me if they cut Nwosu and pay a little bit of a premium for Mafe. I think he's going to get, I don't know where it'll be in terms of guaranteed money, but maybe $40-50 million in terms of guaranteed money. He might be making $15+ million a year.
$15+ million for Boye Mafe, who, now this is all hypothetical. This is not reported. He hasn't signed anywhere yet. He's still a free agent, but $15+ million all of a sudden makes him one of your higher paid defensive linemen. Is that a number that you would be comfortable paying him when coming off of not as productive a season as he has had in years past?
Maybe, and only because of the pressures that he created.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're not going to get these sacks, and I know sacks are big. That's how you separate money. Obviously, it's all about getting after the quarterback. But he created some pressures, man. And if I could see him and Derek Hall together for another year, then maybe. I just don't know, man. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
For what? 4 sacks, 5 sacks,
right?
Something like that.
The analytics liked him. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, he calls havoc.
Yeah,
he calls havoc. He's good at that. He's good at that. But I also think that it's a process of elimination. You're looking to see what else is out there. And if guys getting snatched off the board, and you're looking at Boye and saying this is our best option, then you might have to do it. I don't know if you can go into the draft and just expect a rookie to come in and produce like that, especially when you only have 4 picks, and we're assuming they're probably going to trade out that 32 slot. So I think the longer this goes, the more likely it is that Boye Mafe gets paid.
I think so too. And you're also going to reach a point soon with all these names coming off the board that teams are going to be a little more desperate in trying to fill out their roster. And so then you're probably going to see somebody get paid a number that you're kind of like, what? That guy? Not to say that Boye Mafe is that kind of player, but there is going to be, I think, something working in the favor of a lot of these unrestricted free agents where it's like they're going to have leverage over a lot of these teams being like, well, I look at your roster, you don't have anybody else, and I've got all these other teams calling my agent right now willing to match what you're going to offer me. So why should I then take your offer over theirs? And then teams are going to be like, well, okay, I guess we're going to have to up the offer a little bit. And then also Rosenthal on with us last week talking about how teams are going to want to replicate what Seattle did on defense this year. And what better way to do that than by picking off their players?
I think teams look at what Seattle did last year, and they want to have 4 or 5 edge rushers, guys with flexibility, not just have 2 or 3. So even if Mafe, doesn't, he's not a prototype 1, man, you're excited to give him 500, 600, 700 snaps in a rotation and him to really help your overall group. And I think the Seahawks, honestly, would pay Mafe pretty good money. It's just a matter of will another team pay him more.
So how fitting that we're having this conversation about Boye Mafe and his agent, Mike McCartney, tweeting out that Boye Mafe has reached an agreement on a 3-year deal with
Seahawks,
the Cincinnati Bengals.
Goodness gracious.
Cincinnati doesn't hand out free agent deals like this very often.
All right.
Yeah, so there's another name off the board for the Seahawks. So Boye Mafe on his way to the Cincinnati Bengals. Bummer to see that because Mafe's such a good dude. Like, he has been one of the best interviews on the team over the last couple of years, and then obviously highly productive in his time with the Seahawks. But, yeah, Boye Mafe heading to the Cincinnati Bengals in free agency. Bump, your first reaction to that news?
Is all right, Chenna, who's next? What are we gonna do now? Guys like D Hall need to step up right now with Boye's absence. But so that's Boye, that's Coby, that's K9.
All class of 2022 guys.
Yeah, heck of a draft that year.
Heck of a draft. Yeah, we'll talk about that later on in this hour. Just kind of the lasting impact of that 2022 class. But yeah. 3 years, going to be making 3 years, $60 million. Wow, Boye making more than $15 million.
Get your money.
Average annual value of $20 million for Boye Mafe. Congrats to him. Congrats to him on landing that deal. That is phenomenal work by his agent.
3 years, $60 million. You go to Cincinnati. Good luck over there. Hey, look, I'm sure Joe Burrow is happy. He needs some help on that defensive side of the football. I could not see the Hawks paying him $20 million a year for his services. Would you throw out $13 to $14 million a year? I think you have a conversation about it. I'm sure they did have a conversation about it. But, man, Bengals came out and threw that big money out there. Congratulations, Boye. Boye had a great story, too, man. Didn't start playing football until high school. Went to the Senior Bowl and balled out. My man has done some great things. So, hey, you win Super Bowls. They poach your players.
Yeah.
That's just how it is out here. Let's get to 4-down territory.
This is 4-down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
All right, Bump, first down to you with Ken Walker on his way to Kansas City. What do you think they should do at running back?
Man, we should just change all of these 4 downs, all the stuff that's gone down since the first time we did this. What should you do? You pray for Kenny McIntosh and George Halani to show some life and some promise during OTAs and training camp and all that good stuff. But then you have to go to the draft. We talked about possibly grabbing one of these free agents that were out there. The top guys were Algier, Breece Hall, who was already booked up with the Jets on that franchise tag. You had ETN. Where did he go?
New Orleans.
Went to New Orleans. Who am I missing? Who's that last one I missed? Was it
Algier to Arizona, ETN, and then you had Ken Walker to Kansas City.
Who am I missing?
Dowdle's still a free agent. He's still out there.
Oh, Gainwell.
Oh yeah, Kenneth Gainwell.
So you look at those top 4, and now you are digging. You are searching for a guy. Maybe someone no one's really talking about. But either way, you got to go to this draft and get it done. Damon Claiborne out of Wake Forest is a guy I like. 907 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5.1 per carry. He did his thing. And also you have Jamari Taylor from Virginia. 1,062 yards, 14 touchdowns, 4.8 per carry. Either way it goes, you go find yourself a guy that no one's really talking about when it comes to running backs since the top 4 or 5 are gone, and then you got to hit this draft. But congratulations to K9 going there and getting his money.
Second down. Bump, Coby Bryant headed to the Chicago Bears. Average annual value of about $13 million for him. What should the Seahawks do at safety now?
All right, you got to get Ty Okada ready to go. And Ty Okada played in 742 snaps, 6 passes defended, and had an interception. But if you don't do that, well, you're going to do that. We're going to bring somebody else in. You got to bring in Jalen Thompson, maybe from Arizona. Or Geno Stone. He was with Cincinnati, but he was back in Baltimore when Coach McDonald was the defensive coordinator there. I want to say he had like 2 picks against us when we played against him. I just remember seeing Geno Stone everywhere when the Hawks went to Baltimore and played them a couple years back. Look, you have a guy who you think is capable, who you know is capable in Ty Okada, but you got to bring some depth. We know what they like to do in the secondary when it comes to these safeties. Like to keep 3 out there, mix some things up. But you got some work to do, Seahawks. You got some work to do. But you have a starting caliber safety on your roster already. Look at some veterans out there, see if you can find them. I don't think they address this position in the draft unless they trade back, get a few more. It's tough right now just with 4 picks.
Third down. Bump, what has been a head-scratching move made so far in free agency?
We've talked about him. It's Tua to Atlanta. Listen, man, I think Tua needs to rest for a little bit. He needs to sit back, relax, take your league minimum. You're still going to get the rest of your money from the Dolphins. Just recalibrate the system. Make sure you're nice and healthy. Learn the offense. And just learn in general. Learn how to lead, too, man. When he left Miami, it was not on a good note. I don't think a lot of people in that locker room or organization were really feeling what Tua was doing. He was calling people out publicly. And look, you can call people out publicly, but if you're not that guy, if you are not that guy,
you're not that guy,
pal, then you just don't do it. You don't do it, man. You can allude to some things. You know, there's a way to do it. But the way that he did it just rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not even on the team. I'm not even in the locker room. So I can imagine what it was like for those guys. So Atlanta, man, I'm scratching my head. I hope this works out for you. You got weapons. You got Drake. You got Pitts. You got Bijan Robinson over there. I hope it works out. I hope Tua has a good year. I never wish bad on anybody, but this one confuses me a bit because I felt like a year off from being in the spotlight could help him grow as a football player and as a leader. Instead, it looks like he might be the guy under center when week 1 rolls around.
4th down. All right, Bump. Which team in the NFC West are you keeping an eye on today?
Start off at 1. I'm looking at all these fools, man. I'm looking at all these fools. You got the Rams who got better in the secondary with Trent McDuffie, the highest paid corner in the game now, and Jalen Rotz. You got the 49ers who signed Mike Evans. And I think, look, Mike is not a burner. He's not really fast. He's a possession type of receiver. He's going to be good in the red zone. When he is healthy, that man can play. 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Put some respect on his name. And then the possibility of them trying to restructure or trade Trent Williams, I think that changed something for him. But I'm looking at the Rams and the Niners. As far as the Cardinals, I'm keeping my eye on them. Like, I'm not, like, looking completely over my shoulder and sizing them up, but I'm peeking every now and then. I'm peeking and see what they're doing. They got running back Tyler Algier over there. But who's going to be your quarterback? They brought in Jimmy Garoppolo for a walkthrough, a test, whatever you want to call it. You got Jacoby Brissett over there. What are you going to do in the free agent market? You know, it'd be crazy. What if they went after Geno Smith? What if Geno was over there with the Cardinals? That'd be some stuff. See Geno twice a year.
You know what I saw this weekend? Zach Rosenblatt, who covers the Jets for The Athletic, he was looking at options the Jets could have in terms of free agent quarterbacks. The number 2 guy on his list was Geno Smith. I don't know if he'd want to go back to New York. Like, that would be a really tough pill to swallow. Yes, it is a job, and yes, there's an opportunity. Like, if you win in New York, you're going to be celebrated forever. But, like, could you go back to where you had your worst failure ever?
Bro, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, I would not want to go there.
I wouldn't even visit the state.
No.
I wouldn't.
Take me anywhere but
anywhere,
the Jets.
man. Stay away from there, Geno. Just be a backup somewhere. He's going to get his money, too. He'll play on league minimum, but Raiders are going to pay him. I ain't touching that.
No, not at all. We've been getting some texts into the text line, 866-979-3776, asking about compensatory picks, what all these guys leaving the Seahawks means for that. Well, as it currently stands, this according to Nick Cordy of Over the Cap, who tracks this for them, the Seahawks would have 3 compensatory picks in 2027 if free agency were to end right now, which just, I mean, it's only been open for 3.5 hours, so that's not going to happen. But they would get a compensatory pick for the loss of Ken Walker, Coby Bryant, and Boye Mafe. Okay. 1 4th rounder and 2 5th rounders would be the Seahawks' compensation for losing those 3 guys. So, I mean, that gives you a lot more ammo to deal with in terms of trades for the upcoming season, but obviously having to replenish that talent in 2026 is going to be of the utmost importance.
Yeah, man. Those comp picks, they will come in handy eventually. But, yeah, lots of movement for your Seahawks. You got K9, who's going to be a Chief. You have Coby, who's going to the Bears. You have Boye Mafe, who's going to Cincinnati. But you did sign Josh Jobe to a 3-year, $24 million deal. At least we know he is coming back, right? So let's hang in there, folks. More to do, okay? And when we come back, we're going to take a look at the rookie class of 2022, how they changed everything. We'll let you know next right on the Bump Stacy Show. Got Curtis Rogers filling in for Stacy.
All week long, Wyman and Bob are broadcasting live from Mariners spring training in Peoria, Arizona. Every afternoon starting at 2.
I cannot wait to get down there.
The expectations,
based on what we saw last year, what they've done in the offseason, that's not kooky talk, Dave.
No, it's not.
Your favorite Mariners.
If you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations.
Wyman and Bob live at Mariners spring training all week long on the home of your AL West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
We've got a surefire way for you to feel lucky this St. Paddy's Day. Get a saltwater hot spring spa from Olympic Hot Tub. Take advantage of big savings and get 5 years to pay for it, interest-free. But hurry, this deal ends St. Patrick's Day. OlympicHotTub.com.
Spring is here, Seattle, and now is the smartest time to replace your roof. Trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing, a local, family-owned company that knows how to roof in Washington weather year-round. Schedule your free estimate today at 3treeroofing.com to take advantage of spring pricing, shorter wait times, and get $500 off your new roof before the summer rush hits. Our experts come to you, build a clear plan, and give you an estimate that same day. No surprises and no high-pressure sales tactics. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
It took us 93 years to build this reputation, but it'll take just 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
This week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to my friend Brock Heward. Brock, why did you call First Mark?
Brandy, it is so good to talk to you. It's been too long, and we made that call. And the only bummer is we waited too long. I know you hear from people that you talk to as well as I do to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. I just wish we would have done it earlier. You know, Brandy, the word that comes to my mind is a word I use on my sports show a lot, and that is connective tissue. It's important in team building. It's important to players in a locker room to be connected to others. And when it comes to insurance, it's so complicated. It's stressful, and you just don't even want to deal with it. And that's where the connective tissue of having a pro, having a broker, having a partner, and most of all, having a teammate like First Mark Insurance was the best connective tissue we could find.
Brock did it. My family did it. You got to do it. It's free. Take the First Mark Challenge. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com. Great decisions start with knowing your options. Lake Washington windows and doors are built to perform. Their windows are 25% more efficient than Energy Star standards, cut noise up to 50%, and are designed with low-maintenance, clean glass technology. While most window frames are hollow, theirs feature Comfort Core insulation for superior energy efficiency. Find your pot of gold with up to 20% in savings and 12-month financing with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to PendergastLaw.com. That's PendergastLaw.com.
Whether I'm catching up with friends or family, Sea Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue is the place. Hey, Brock Heward here, and I love Sea Star's welcoming atmosphere and polished service, which make conversations flow easily and everyone leaves impressed. It's the same quality and hospitality Sea Star and Chef John Howie have been known for decades. And now an amazing deal. 3-course dinners in the lounge every night from open to close, starting at just $50. Go check it out. Find the details at SeaStarRestaurant.com, SeaStarRestaurant.com.
Ooh, that face. Quantum Fiber Internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Yay to Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum Fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of her video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum Fiber Internet blowing the soxies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Daryl's knee problems started years ago.
The initial injury happened back in my high school days. It was more of a nerve damage that was done in the knee.
And eventually it led to surgery.
They had the knee replacement done on the right knee. The orthopedic surgeon I worked with obviously was ready to do the work on the left knee, and I just didn't feel good about it.
Instead of another replacement, he chose stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative preventive medicine. How's your pain now?
On a bad day, 1 or 2.
So you went from an 8 to a 1 or a 2.
It's been great. I can't say the same for the other knee. We're still having challenges.
And when people ask you about surgery?
What I always tell them is that you should first talk to Dr. Wagner. You should look at stem cell as an option before you do the surgery. Because once you do the surgery, the stem cell isn't going to help you. And if he says he can help you, believe him.
Before you choose surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first, the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
This was the class that kind of changed everything, man. If you look at exactly what happened in the 2022 draft for the Seahawks, you see a lot of guys who played big roles in what the Hawks were able to accomplish this year and previous years. So let's go through it real quick. Charles Cross was the number 9 overall pick in 2022. Played in dang near every game. Boye Mafe just got paid going to Cincinnati, 3 years, $60 million. Played in a lot of snaps. K9, Super Bowl MVP. Abe Lucas, part of the bookends. Coby Bryant, starter in this league, off to the Bears. Reek Woolen, the starter for the majority of his career, coming off the bench because of Josh Jobe, who you just signed. You got Tariq Smith, who just couldn't stay healthy. Bo Melton, who didn't really get an opportunity. And then Derek Young, who's been great on special teams. You could say for draft position, they hit on all but maybe 2 of these picks.
Yeah, it's rare to see a draft class get this many second contracts in the league, but you mentioned it, Cross, Mafe, Walker, Lucas, Bryant, and Reek Woolen, and probably Derek Young as well. That's 7 of the 9 picks made in that draft getting second contracts in the NFL, and that doesn't count Bo Melton, who ended up becoming a part of the Packers and put up some okay numbers. Actually transitioned to being a defensive back in 2025 too. Yeah, this Seahawks class of 2022 is one that should absolutely be mentioned in the same breath as the class of 2012, as the class of 2010, as the class of, heck, even 2011. You look at 2010, you had Russell Okung, Earl Thomas, Golden Tate. Those were your first 3 picks. And then in the 5th round, you picked up a guy named Cam Chancellor. In 2011, you had KJ Wright in the 4th round, Richard Sherman in the 5th round, Byron Maxwell in the 6th, Malcolm Smith, Super Bowl MVP in the 7th. And then 2012, Bruce Irvin, Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson, our guy, Robert Turbin, as well in that draft. But, yeah, class of 2022 may not get the same level of pub as those classes at the beginning of John Schneider's tenure. But the fact that, like, he was able to find that magic in the draft again, Bump, is a testament to, I think, John Schneider's ability to adapt and maybe recognize, hey, we have not been doing well at this. And this is an area where we can absolutely take advantage of if we can nail these draft picks, because getting 7 contributors the way that they did in 2022, that's 7 guys on rookie deals.
Yeah.
That gives you about a 4 or 5 year window. And lo and behold, in 2022, that was also the draft that you acquired one of your picks via the trade in Russell Wilson. That was a seminal moment in the franchise where it's kind of like, all right, do we continue to go down this path that is kind of leading us to, a ceiling of 9-10 wins every year? Or do we try and write this thing and get it to an even better place? And so 2022 has kind of become this like launching point of where the Seahawks are right now. And I think you got to give them some flowers, especially because today we've seen, 3 of those guys go elsewhere. So it kind of is like the end point of one of the most pivotal moments in franchise history, and that was that 22 draft.
So now it's, all right, 2022 held you down. I think in 2025, you have some cornerstone pieces too. You got Gray Zabel, Nick Mware. We're still waiting on Arroyo to see what he looks like. Horton, if he can stay healthy, we'll see. Right, you're not going to hit the way that you did in 2022. Mason Richmond is a guy that we can see, right? Robbie Oots is a guy that we can see as well. I'm waiting to see how, because that 2025 is like the pivot. You know, you got 2022. Now you're getting to 2025, the first draft with Coach McDonald as well. What does 2026 look like? Like, what is because in this draft, in the 2025 draft, I say you have for sure 1, 2, 3 to 4 guys out of what their 10, 11 picks that they have that you feel like are gonna be here to stay. That's more typical.
Yeah.
Right? How many did they hit on in 2022?
7.
The 7 picks? That's not typical. You usually don't hit like
definitely
that.
not.
So let's not go into this draft thinking however many picks they're going to hit, they're going to hit on, or they're going to hit on 75 to 80% of it. That's just not how this thing works.
You bring up how tough it is to hit on just multiple picks in a draft, and I'm looking at every subsequent draft since 2022, so 23. That I believe 23 was the final Pete Carroll draft in Seattle, so that was the last one he was involved in. But like, you have the 2 first-round picks, Witherspoon and JSN. Obviously, those guys are going to get second contracts. Derek Hall is going to get a second contract wherever that is, if it's here in Seattle or somewhere else. Zach Charbonnet probably going to get a second contract in the league as well. Like, that's 4 guys from that class already in the first 2 rounds that you are pretty certain have, long NFL careers ahead of them.
Anthony Bradford's going to get one.
Yeah, Anthony Bradford. Yeah, especially with how desperate teams are in finding offensive line help. That's 5 guys in that draft. Really, the only guy from that class that we have not seen anything from is Cameron Young, who
I don't think he's in the league.
Yeah, I don't think he's in the league anymore. That was a 4th-round pick. Mike Morris, Oluwatimi, Jarek Reed, Kenny McIntosh. Those guys haven't been able to contribute the way that Witherspoon, JSN, Hall, and Charbonnet have, and then Bradford as well. But that's 4 guys, 5 guys that you can say have made a difference in your organization. 23 and 24, Byron Murphy and A.J. Barner. Like, you nailed those picks. And the fact that you got A.J. Barner in the 4th round, who is now a starting tight end in the league, and not just starting tight end in the league, but I would put him in the upper half of tight ends in the league, and maybe even a tight end that has Pro Bowl caliber potential within him over the next couple of years. Tyrese Knight, a big contributor on the defense, especially during his rookie season, really helped bail out the defense his rookie year. So the Seahawks are on a run right now, Bump, that all kind of started with that class of 2022, where it hasn't been just one contributor that you find in a draft. I think we all kind of look at it like, can you find a starter in a draft? That class of 22 has really set things in motion for the Seahawks, where even though they have 4 picks in the draft, Bump, I'm still really excited to see who they get with those 4, because they've shown over the last, 4 or 5 drafts now that, like, you can find talent anywhere.
Yeah, you can. Scouting department has to be on point. You have to find guys that fit what you like to do, whether that be on the field, off the field, in the locker room, all of that good stuff, man. So it's possible. I mean, the only draft that really scares us is 21. Yeah, 3 picks. D. Eskridge, who's still in the league, by the way.
Yeah.
Trey Brown is still in the league as well, and so is Stone Forsythe. But you don't want a draft like that. Currently with 4 picks, you're hoping that John Schneider is able to make something happen. Because, listen, we're saying maybe get 1 or 2 starters out of a draft. If you got 4 picks and you get 1 out of those 4, then that's going to be a win. So we just want more bites at the apple is all I'm saying.
I feel like this is going to be me being a hater of the class of 2021, but a part of me kind of feels like Stone Forsythe. The only reason he was continuing in the league is that Pete Carroll was the guy who drafted him in Seattle in 21, and that's the team he ended up playing for, the Raiders, starting a lot of games. Started 13 games for the Raiders, and as we know, Pete Carroll, very loyal.
Very loyal.
That class of 21, I mean, you look at the drafts leading up to that, 2020 wasn't so bad. You had Jordan Brooks, Darrell Taylor, Damian Lewis, Colby Parkinson, DJ Dallas, but like 2019, outside of DK Metcalf, that draft was pretty brutal. LJ Collier, Marquise Blair, Gary Jennings, Phil Haynes. 2018, Rashad Penny, Rasheem Green. The best player you got in that draft probably Will Dissly. No, Michael Dixon. You never want to leave the draft with your best player being a punter from that draft. Not to hate on Michael Dixon or anything, but that's just not how you want to do it. And then 2017, Malik McDowell, Ethan Posick, Shaquille Griffin, the best player in that draft by far. 2016, Jaron Reed, but Jermaine Ifedi was your first pick. it's been a while since the Seahawks have been on a run like this in the draft. So tip of the cap to John Schneider. And I mean, hey, tip of the cap to Pete Carroll too, because he was here in 2022, had a lot of say in making those picks as well back in 22. And congrats, honestly, like it stinks that these guys are leaving Seattle and that the Seahawks can't bring them back, but like congrats to them on these moments, because
it's hard to do.
Yeah, it's
hard
really
to get a
hard
contract.
to do.
It's hard, man. Most people don't. That's why they say NFL not for long, 3.5 years, you gone. All right, we're almost gone, but before we get out of here, it's time for What I Need to Know. Get your questions in. 866-979-3776. Matt went to Comic-Con. Is that what it's called?
Oh,
Comic-Con?
yeah. Emerald City Comic-Con.
Hey, he went there. So if y'all were there, y'all got some questions for Matthew over here, y'all hook him up.
Send them in.
And send them things in. 866-979-3776. That's next.
All week long, Wyman and Bob are broadcasting live from Mariners spring training in Peoria, Arizona. Every afternoon starting at 2.
I cannot wait to get down there.
The expectations.
Based on what we saw last year, what they've done in the offseason, that's not kooky talk, Dave.
No, it's not.
Your favorite Mariners.
If you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations.
Wyman and Bob live at Mariners spring training all week long on the home of your AL West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
High five! Up top! Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
You're 62 or older, lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but a refinance or HELOC, well, it means a bigger payment. And the cost of selling your home, it's insane. So what should you do? Hey, Brock Ewart here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve. You really got 3 options. Number 1, sell your home. 2, get a HELOC or refinance. Or 3, get a reverse mortgage. Tila has done the analysis and believes that a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their homes without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? No. Call today and let's compare. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call today. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046. Join the Seattle Sports Commission for a star-studded fundraising event featuring the athletes and icons of Washington sports. Experience red carpet interviews, sports exhibits, a silent auction, and live awards show. Created for the sports community by the sports community, all while supporting the nonprofit power of Seattle sports. Don't miss your chance to be among the stars on March 13th at the 91st Annual Sports Star of the Year presented by Microsoft. Get your tickets now at seattlesports.org.
Don't miss Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be two. JP has it, goes to the bag, steps on second, fires to first, double play.
Broadcast times at seattlesports.com.
They say teachers don't impact for a year, but for a lifetime. Hi, this is Rick Riz. Join WSECU, your local credit union, as we celebrate those who give so much with the Teacher of the Week program. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. Each week throughout the season, we'll honor one teacher with a $500 grant, courtesy of WSECU. Teachers are the real MVPs. Find out more and nominate a teacher at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Shopping for a new Mazda? Shop the West Coast's largest Mazda dealer, Mazda of Everett. With more new Mazdas in stock than any dealer in the region. Shop over 780 new Mazdas. Click on the Mazda of Everett price. At Mazda of Everett, exceptional customer satisfaction is the standard. Plus, at Mazda of Everett, you negotiate directly with the owner. Locally owned, trusted by thousands. Shop MazdaofEverett.com and see why we're #1.
The madness tips off next week, and with it comes your chance to win the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It is time for What I Need to Know. Before we get into that, it is official. Tua is a Falcon. You got details on that, Curtis?
I believe it's for the league minimum.
Oh, yeah.
But
because the Miami's putting that bill.
Tom Pelissero says that between the Dolphins and the Falcons, Tua will make $54 million this season.
So, goodness gracious.
He's doing just fine.
He's doing all right. All right, what I need to know, what is Matt's costume at Comic-Con?
Oh, yeah, Matt, what did you dress up as at Comic-Con?
I dressed up as a boring nerd, the same costume I use every year. I don't dress up. It is cool to see all the people that dressed up. The best one I saw this weekend was someone dressed up as the meme of Homer, like, backing into the bush. Like, they dressed up as Homer and then, like, brought along, like, this ridiculous bush contraption behind them.
That's kind of dope.
It was really sick.
That's kind of dope.
I believe somebody said, Matt, what were your top 3 favorite things at Comic-Con?
Oh, that's tough. There were so many. There was a panel that Chris Claremont did, who was, like, the writer of every amazing X-Men story. He was really cool. I bought a painting from David Mack, who's like one of the best artists of all time. Oh, and a third thing, just every single table in Artist Alley. Like, everyone is so talented there. It's just cool being around that stuff, you know?
So much talent in that convention.
So much.
What I need to know, when you're at a store and someone just ahead of you is talking after a transaction is completed, how long do you stand there before you say anything? I just don't say anything. I mean,
so if they're like talking to the check,
Yeah.
if they're talking to the cashier and they just continue on with their conversation, you're just waiting for your.
I don't say anything. I just look at them and they feel my energy.
Yeah, I mean, normally I don't really have anywhere to go after the grocery store except for home, so I'm not in too big of a rush. I would say 99% of the time I am self-checkout, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But if I'm in that kind of. What I don't like are the cashiers, Bump, that have to comment on every single thing that you purchase. Where you buy like a jar of making sandwiches? It's like, what else would I use
Pretty
this
common.
for? Yeah. Like, just let me buy my groceries, please.
Let me get in, let me get out. What I need to know, Matt. Man, you're popular today, Matt. Who wins in a fight between the USS Enterprise and Enterprise D and an Imperial Star Destroyer?
It will probably be the Imperial Star Destroyer. The Enterprise D it's the flagship of Starfleet in its day, but it's also like a ship for exploration. A Star Destroyer is a Star Destroyer. So yeah.
Okay.
But maybe Captain Picard could out diplomacy the situation.
That's what I was thinking, honestly.
Yeah, that was going to be my answer, too.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it. I was a little unsure.
What I need to know. Should the Hawks take a flyer on Kyler as a backup if Monroe gets dealt?
No.
I think we're good.
You've got Drew Lock.
We're good over there. Yeah.
So long as John Schneider is the Seahawks president of football operations, Drew Lock will have a job in Seattle.
I saw a video of Drew Lock after they won the Super Bowl. He said, got an A on the group project. I'm like, hey, you got to be able to laugh at yourself sometimes.
Respect.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. Who has the edge between the 2013 Seahawks defense of 2013 or the offense of 2025?
The 2013 Seahawks defense has the edge on every offense
time.
in NFL history because they shut down the greatest offense in NFL history in that Super Bowl.
Exactly.
There's your answer.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
What I need to know besides Pike's Place and the Space Needle, what are must-see do's in Seattle? My wife and her friends are flying in from Hawaii to spend a day in Seattle. I'll be there. It'll be their first time in your city.
So we're talking like touristy spots?
Yeah. Besides Pike Place and Space Needle. I think you got to go to the waterfront, man. They clean that place up. Waterfront looks good.
Yeah, we have a membership to the aquarium because the girls love it there. So the aquarium is really good.
Aquarium's dope.
It's fun.
You know what trips people out, and I didn't realize it was that big of a deal? The floating bridge. Like, my family comes out, and they trip out of this. Like, this is a floating bridge. I go, the longest one in the world.
It is.
Yeah.
And now they're putting light rail on it, too.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think the 28th is when that opens.
Okay.
I was going to say, if your friends were coming during, like, Mariners season, take them to a baseball game.
Mm-hmm. Baseball games are cool.
Yeah. There's
some random live music spot, too. You'll find some. I literally on the weekends, I'll just type in just live music and go check out a random show.
A lot of good parks around. Mm-hmm. If you can get them out on the water too, although they're from Hawaii, they're probably out on the water all the time. What's water to them?
Your water.
They're probably gonna be bored by the water we have here.
Going like ours.
How about go on a ferry ride too? That's another.
Yeah, people like the ferries too.
Yeah.
What I need to know, what's the best thing about working with Stacy? Is this Stacy?
Yeah, I know.
Is this Stacy?
Is this Stacy?
The best thing about working with Stacy is the day she takes off. Hi, Stacy.
Oh,
she texted that in. Come on.
No, it's not her.
I don't believe it.
It's not her. I looked up the number.
She must have burners.
Right?
Yeah.
Best thing about working with Stacy is just the random stuff that she says that has nothing to do with sports at all.
She is good for office camaraderie.
What I need to know. Over the weekend, my wife and I went to Chipotle. That's what I call it. We ordered online and did drive-through pickup. When we received the food, I forgot my wife had a drink with her meal. I tried to get the lady's attention and she didn't hear me. Was I in the right to tap the glass to get her attention for the cup? Two extra. No, tap the glass. Get what you pay for.
Yeah, if she's not paying attention at the drive-through window, you got to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Maybe honk your horn.
I feel like tapping's better than honking. Honking seems rude.
Does it though?
I mean, it does it.
If no one's near the window.
Yeah.
Or what you should have done is drive around to the front of the restaurant, get out, go to the counter, and be like, "Hey, you forgot my drink."
Nah, I'm doing too much. I want mine right now. I'm not getting out the car. It defeats the whole purpose of the drive-through. I'm tapping. I'm tapping on that glass. Hey, you forgot something. Oh, man.
508 pushing back on you, Matt.
Back.
Says wrong. It's the Enterprise, and it's not close. Weapons are 1,000 times more powerful. Just speaking from a nerd science perspective, obviously none of it's real, but if it was, it's Enterprise.
They're two completely different universes.
Let them have it, Matt.
Between two different universes.
That's right.
I have seen the destructive power of a Star Destroyer in a lot of movies and comics. I have seen the destructive power of the Enterprise in every episode of Next Gen. And my opinion is a Star Destroyer would probably cut through their shields.
Through that texture, Matt.
I'm going to roll with Matt. It's whatever he says. I'm with you, Matt, 100%. All right, the music changed. That means we're done. Done for the day. Dad Pod. You guys had 2 days of Dad Pods, a Friday and a Saturday. Way to end your week and start your week. Stacy will be back tomorrow, and it'll be business as usual. Thank you, everybody, for listening. K9, Chiefs, Boye, Cincy, Coby, Bears, Jobe. He's still here.
That's right.
More to do. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
All week long, Wyman and Bob are broadcasting live from Mariners spring training in Peoria, Arizona. Every afternoon starting at 2.
I cannot wait to get down there.
The expectations.
Based on what we saw last year, what they've done in the offseason, that's not kooky talk, Dave.
No, it's not. Your favorite Mariners.
If you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations.
Wyman and Bob live at Mariners spring training all week long on the home of your AL West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Experience the Seattle RV Show. All the makes, models, and floor plans. Get special rates, incentives, and show-only deals. Talk to RV experts and check out all the add-ons and upgrades. March 12 through 15. Tickets at SeattleRVShow.com. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Spring and summer, it's right around the corner. So if you haven't called PCF about getting started on your new deck, well, right now is the time. With a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long. And right now, you can get up to $6,000 off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Save an additional $1,500 when you bundle your deck and patio cover. Some restrictions do apply, but do what we did. Contact PCF for all the details and start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build by the spring. Planning and permits, they can take a little time, so please don't wait. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First. Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
When you buy a new vehicle from Lee Johnson, you'll get a lifetime powertrain warranty included.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Inc. Business Premier Card. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's